Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
You are listening to Scream with Ryan C. Showers, the podcast for Scream fans just like you. Join Ryan every week as he takes a deep dive into the horror film series that defined the 90s and redefined the genre. Scream with Ryan C. Showers is your source for scene and quote analysis, character dissections, and the latest news about upcoming installments of the Scary Movie franchise.
I hear you like horror movies, Kirby, but do you like them as much as him?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Scream with Ryan C. Showers. I'm your host, Ryan C. Showers. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. In the lead up to Scream 7, I couldn't be more grateful for everybody out there who listens to the show, who supports my podcast here, listening every episode, or on social media on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. If you would like to become a member of the podcast, come to the group Zooms, be on the show on a one-on-one or small group setting, consider joining the Patreon with Scream with Ryan C. Showers. In addition to the benefits of coming on the podcast, you can also join our social media groups, in particular on Instagram. That's the main hub of the podcast. I also do a monthly audio commentary of a Scream movie or a Scream-related film. From now through April, we are going to be having a new Scream movie audio commentary. So if you would like to hear my thoughts in an audio commentary form in the style of Wes Craven, Marion Maddalena, et al. Of the original trilogy, please consider subscribing and supporting the show. Thank you to every single person out there who subscribes on Patreon. Specifically, I need to thank my Daddy Ghost Faces and Stab investors over at Patreon. Starting out strong, we have Carrie Tenney, our Mama Ghostface, Corey Wilson, and Brett Janovich. And then we have Kevin Abner, Ali, Roy Garza, Josh Carr, Mark Harim, PWO5, Gustavo Mora, Mark Vieira, Scream Queens Podcast, both Josh and Justine, Joey Nabarini, aka The Vault, The Horror Project Podcast, David D., Jess Mariano, Sam Levy, Tamika Jones, Josh Calamari, and Andrew Dominguez. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Scream with Ryan C. Showers. I'm your host, Ryan C. Showers. Thank you for joining me for the first episode of 2026. So this is the year of the 30th anniversary of Scream, 1996. So we still have, 11 months to get there, of course. But this is also the year that we're getting the official Scream 7 film, directed by Kevin Williamson, co-written by Kevin Williamson, and starring Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox. It's a big year. It's very exciting. And I'm really just like this could be the best year of the podcast, I think. I just, in terms of, building up to 7 in these last few weeks that we have, and then getting to see 7 and analyze it and really digest it and get to live Sidney Prescott as the main character again, So it could be an awesome time. Joining me, I have Jess Melendez. Hey, Jess.
Hey, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm well. How about you?
I'm doing good.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
So this episode is fun. This is going to be, I had like several options for like what I could do for the first episode of the year. And, I thought, we had this amazing Zoom the other day. It was I called it the holiday party, which I have every year for the Patrons. And it was, to be honest, I wasn't expecting a huge turnout just because this is like, it's December, people are busy, whatever. And a lot of people came and it was a really fun conversation. And I didn't have like a specific topic, a narrow topic. I kind of said, come with what you wanted to talk about. And everybody showed up and we talked about Scream 7, of course. We talked about Neve. We talked about Sidney. We talked about Neve being in the Lincoln Lawyer. We talked about Wicked. We talked about Taylor Swift. We talked about the 90s. We talked about Alien Resurrection, funny enough. We talked about everything. And so this episode, in my opinion, is a really good place to start for 2026 because it's like the heart of the podcast, which is this community that we have. The people that you hear on the show every week or every month on the group Zooms, like, this is kind of what the podcast is all about. So, I thought, it would be fun just to start with a big warm hug from all of us. And Jess, I asked Jess to do this introduction with me because she was actually the first guest last year for our Death of a Requel episode, where I wrote an essay and then I kind of read it aloud. It was more of a conversation than me performing, but and then Jess came on and we talked about it. So welcome, Jess, 2 years in a row, first guest.
Yeah, I'm so proud to be here and also honored.
Well, let's keep it up. Every year, I think we should. The first voices you'll hear in a new year of Scream with Ryan C. Showers is Ryan and Jess. I like that tradition.
Yeah, totally.
It's like Sidney. I like that ending.
No, I just had that in my head. I was like, yeah, I like that. I like that ending.
Well, actually, it's funny. I watched the Stream 1996 this morning I did the audio commentary. It will have released by this point. So I mean, everything. The original film is as fresh as it possibly could be in my head. So, anyways, well, everyone, welcome to this year. So, something that happened at the very tail end of last year was the final Scream. This is the final script written by Joe Velisi for the podcast that I performed, and I invited Jess here to kind of talk about it a little bit because a lot of you have heard it by now. A lot of you will have heard my commentary with Joey, and I just kind of want to get someone's perspective out here on the record who isn't me and Joey, who didn't like live the script like me and Joey did. Like Joey, literally by creating the script, but also me having to like perform as the characters, but also perform the narration and like get this script perfect. Like I spent more time on this script than I did the other scripts. Easy by far. I mean, obviously, right? It's a longer script. So the final Scream was 147 pages. Scream 7 was 127 and Screams was 108, I think. But even so, like the final Scream was really hard to do compared to the other two performances just because the others had more dialogue. Like the opening for Screams was tough because there's a lot of imagery that he was writing and these long descriptive sentences. But that style was basically the entire script for the final Scream. So it was tough, but I wanted it to be perfect. And because I'm the editor of the podcast now, Albert isn't around. I had the freedom to take my time, do it on my schedule, and have it be as perfect as I possibly could have it. And I think that I achieved that. I'm really happy with the product. Like, I'm not going to listen back and be like, "Ooh, I could have done that better." Believe it or not, there are some lines in the Scream 7 script I wish I could go back and redo, but it is what it is. So, but Jess, I'm so eager to hear what you have to say about the final Scream because you were like partly how we became such good friends was like your reading of Scream 7 back in the day, back in 2023. You had a really intense reaction to it and intense opinions about it, and I really respected the hell out of it. And that kind of led to you becoming more involved with the podcast, and now you're practically a regular contributor. So I'm very curious to know what you think of the final Scream.
For me, yeah, kudos on recording that because, like I told you before, as I sat here to listen, I was like, wow, this is becoming more real. Like, this is very long.
Hmm.
But yeah, my reaction to it, as far as like how I feel, is that it hit me deeply, I think, as it's supposed to.
Hmm.
And you were saying before, oh, you've lived with this for such a long time.
Yeah.
And it was a process of listening in which, because of how Joey is able to maintain the tension, right? Because he's able to do the misdirection with the opening, which is genius. Because one of the biggest things that people say is, oh, you can't actually have Sidney's family be the target because they're either going to be the opening or they're going to be the ending scene. And it's kind of spoiled in that way.
Hmm.
And it's like, well, Joey found a way to put it smack dab in the middle, which is so uncomfortable because I know when it happened, I told Joey, I was like, I had to go back to the podcast and be like, how long do we have left? And I was shocked to see an hour left. That ratcheted up the tension even more for me as I was listening because it's not supposed to be there, right?
Hmm.
This type of scene, this sort of scene for the main character. And because it feels so wrong, like structure wise, as what we would expect as the audience, because again, everyone always says, oh, it's going to be the finale, or oh, obviously Mark will die in the opening or something like that. It's like it makes you feel like you don't know what's coming next. So he managed to make something like that would have been like, oh, targeting Sidney's family feels so uncomfortable and completely put you off your game so you don't know what to expect and anticipate.
Hmm. No, that's pretty much like what I share that point of view. The one thing you said to me, and by the way, we're talking spoilers. So if you haven't listened to the final Scream, shame on you, but go back and listen to it. It's episode 275. If not, jump ahead, like maybe like 20 minutes and then get to the group Zoom. But yeah, this Mark, Sidney, Gale epic sequence at the end of Act 2, you called it a fake finale. And then the real finale comes, which is the prequel. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
This script feels so domestic for so much of it. Like after that incredible and also very long opening as well. Like
Hmm.
Kayla gets a lot of time to like leave her presence on screen. And then we go into what seems like a really long act 1, right? Of setup because he has to like build this like community, which I feel like he really did. Most people in this really stand out and have a lot of good character.
Hmm.
And so for me, when we get to that midpoint, that's when it was getting like, like your chest gets tight. And
Hmm.
then since there's so much less left to go, it's like Joey doesn't let you go until it finishes. That's what it quite felt like to me. It felt like I was stressed out, and it was quite epic in that way. But yeah, I love the fake finale. I love that you guys sort of like were echoing a lot, or Joey was echoing a lot of Scream 3 throughout. So, this is like what, like, I want to say the second time that Sidney gets a personal call she has to show up and she chooses to, displaying her character again. I think I also love what's happening here because I always talk about that on the podcast, how, Billy and Stu were trying to shove Sidney into a victim box, right? They were really trying to lessen her as a horror, female victim. And she rejects that, right? Not in my movie. She takes control. She controls the narrative. And here we have the gay version of it that I say that is like toxic positivity of like the gay reverence for women. I told Joey that they're treating Sadie like a Barbie doll as much as like they want to strip her for Sadie clothing and shove her into some final girl outfit. Even though I feel like Sadie, because she has Sidney here, she doesn't quite, she rejects it. It's not as strong as Sidney, but God, everything that she's been through, I don't blame her. It's a miracle that she's even like, I feel still there, like, present in the moment after everything she's been through. But as far as like one of the biggest standouts of the ending in this movie for me is that Gail everything is so fucked and it looks so dire. And then Gail kind of just saunters onto the scene and then like kind of like everything becomes easy. I wonder, that just came to my mind, like when I know she's just fighting the geriatrics, right? Jamie Lee and everything. But still, that was 1v2. Yeah. Gail managed, right? And then she kind of saunters in at the perfect time to decapitate Ross. It's almost like he uses Gail as this calm, She gets to usher in safety.
Well, so why don't you tell everybody about what you said specifically about Gail and Sidney's relationship, because this is like a key part of a lot of the scripts, and like people will say to me like, I call Screams the Gail movie because she is the main target, but like the way that it has been received has been the Gail and Sidney movie. Like it's about their relationship, and I think that carries through over to the final Scream a little bit. I think that Gail gets an amazing amount of screen time, of course, and a great story and a great personality, a great representation of who this woman is, or who Joey and I think she is. Whether she is who we think she is TBA, depending on Scream 7, of course. But what did you think of their relationship?
Oh, I loved it. It's one of my favorite parts, right? So for me as a woman, I think that as a woman, most women notice that when you look at a story presented in film or TV, oftentimes they don't really get the female friendship right. There's always some, I don't know, layer of competition, or there's not enough women in this cast for there to be any significant relationships or something, or they haven't passed the Bechdel test, whatever, right? I love that, Sidney and Gail reminded me so much of my own friendship with my best friend, right? Like that these are two women, especially after we find out what Mark did, Gail is able to step up and sort of do what I feel like women do for each other when men fail or they're lackluster, is like we just sort of are dynamic in that way that we can fulfill those roles and help each other like get through and be domestic with each other and very like sort of intimate. Like I said to you, it gave Sapphic, which by the way, I feel better saying that because Joey said that, yeah, it was like kind of like within that container, not supposed to be, but within that container of like how women love each other. And so I really love how protective Gail was. I love how, trusting Sidney was. I love Sidney's call to Gail because I know she knows she's going to come, but it kind of just feels like, it's just them two at the edge of the world and this is who she has to talk to.
Yeah.
After all this time, it's Sidney and Gail. And by the end of it, as I was saying to you before, I do feel like, like Sidney she now has this person that she can rely on. That's always going to be there in a way that's deeper than I feel like most people ever were in her life. And also that, we make this observation that she basically becomes Gail in a way. Like Gail is the one, they work together because they are the same, not in the same way, but they do the same thing. They constantly go and meet the moment, whatever that is for them, whether it's Gail's career or for Sidney facing down another ghost face, right? It's just like the perfect couple,
Well, so you referenced like this, like almost so in Scream 3 there is like a competition about like who is protecting Sidney. Is it Dewey or is it Kincaid? And Kincaid is still fighting the same battle. It's just with a different member of the trio. And that's kind of like a great transition now to talk about Mark, because from our discussions, it sounds as though your biggest not issue with the script, but a big point for you that's emotional about the script is Mark cheating. And will Sidney leave him? I'm just curious, what are your thoughts here? Because Joey told me about this again in June of 24. I have had a year and a half to process this and like accept it. And I was worried, like, oh no, because like, I have a lot of Mark Kincaid fans here, and I have a lot of people who wanted them to be together. And especially since Patrick Dempsey kind of got torn away from us, looking to this as like a happily ever after for them. And for it to cut so deep in a negative way, in terms of showing the flaws of their marriage as opposed to just them as a super couple, I would love to know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, of course it hurts. Of course it was something that was difficult. I think that, Joey must have known that writing it, but he chose it for a reason. And I think it's beyond just to mirror what's happening in, the first, well, prequel, if you think about it, Maureen's story rather.
Yeah.
But for me, it was the perfect smoke screen, so to
Yeah.
speak, because I was so upset about Mark and Sydney's relationship that I wasn't clocking the fact that this was like a Maureen mirror at all. I was I was caught in the drama, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it works because it creates a motive or something that could have clocked you to what was going on, with the Ghostface story, Ghostface motive early on. It creates, like I said, it hides it in plain sight. Because as if you're identifying with Sidney or you're a big fan of Scream, which you would be a big fan of Sidney, you're going to be just as distressed as she is. It really does put you in her POV. It makes it that much more believable that she was like, sort of blindsided by this, which is like incredibly hurtful, right? Because while we're focused on what's happening on her family, it's the exact same Maureen situation in the other family,
Yep.
which, creates the perfect excuse to sort of start pushing them away. We kind of don't really see Sharon all that much. She kind of just is calling or showing up, but we don't hear her anymore. Sadie decides not to go pick up Grace, right? Or not answer her. So it creates this rupture where we would be noticing the mirroring. It's like now justifiably far away from us, POV wise. And I just think that as a writer, he really knows how to manipulate things in ways that make sense and feel confident and competent. So I can't be mad at it. If something works in a story, can't be mad at it. Because again, thematically it works. It brings everything together at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, for me, is it hard to let go of my Mark, what my version of Mark in my head? Yeah, it is. But, and at the same time, I'm like, Mark was never going to be saving Sidney in this story.
Yeah.
Sidney always saves herself.
Yeah. And she saved him
yeah.
this time, to be honest.
Yeah. Dragging, like the imagery of dragging him up the stairs with his like ankle hanging off. Oh no, that was crazy.
It's and devastating. Like, the thing that I love what Joey did here. First of all, I love your word when you said disguise. Oh my God, that is exactly what he did. He created, a shiny object for everyone to look at, and be so invested in because we are so in love with Sidney Prescott. And yet this is still, the pieces are lining up perfectly. And then kaboom, he hits us with the prequel. That is brilliant, So I love that. But also something that it does, and you kind of alluded to this, is it makes Sharon the number one suspect. Literally, Gail even says that in the principal's office after Grace was attacked. She says, "Where was Sharon?" And then the room goes silent and Mark and Sidney look at each other. It's just like, perfect. And like, there are like so many, like there are times where Sharon's like in the background, like making a mean face, but like, it's also just kind of interesting to think about, like in another world, Maureen would be looked at as a suspect, and
even
like,
more so
go
to
ahead,
add
yeah.
to that, it's not even just that she's a suspect, but because she did this act, she's being viewed just as low of a woman. And just like you can assume everything of her now, in a way that Maureen would have back in the 90s, you know?
Well, and like, that's kind of interesting, like, in terms of how people react to Sharon, the whole point of like the original trilogy was investigating Maureen Prescott and her backstory and like learning about her. And like the killers, repeatedly called her a slut. And there was some misogyny dripping all over those original trilogy killers. And it's kind of like, we're reframing it in a different way for audiences today who have already lived that, who already kind of accept Maureen and like kind of really see the humanity in her and her life. And now here we are with Sharon. Are we judging her the same way that everyone back then judged Maureen? It's just kind of a weird inverse. It's like, I said it a million times in the commentary episode. It's like the eclipse of like the beginning and the end. There's so much that's brought out, even in us, and how we see these characters and these stand-ins,
It's very much what if it happened to you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I love because it's an exercise in empathy. And these kind of stories are usually challenging because it's going to be full of things that you didn't necessarily want to happen, hard things that happen that test our characters. And it's going to, like, one of the things that stood out to me, right? When Mark gets attacked, it was very vicious. And it usually in horror, when you do something bad, you're going to get punished, right? Quote unquote. Or that's an interpretation that some people have. And sometimes it's applicable depending on what you're talking about. So I really love how Joey did that classic morality moment for a horror situation where he does take the call. As soon as he did that, I was like, oh, well,
did you think he was going to die?
Quite honestly, I thought so.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so because I was like, like he's down here in the basement by himself. He got pet cemeteried and, like he did the classic bad thing. And I wonder if that's what we're supposed to, it's almost it's the same question that I had with Sharon because her death is so, I guess you could say, graphic, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's a script. It's like, am I supposed to feel good about this? Because I didn't. I felt sick.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that kind of, that moment is for Mark, for Sharon, it challenges you as a horror lover that these are also just people and brings the Maureen into it subtextually.
No, and those were, I think those are the best. Like, so I think Sharon has the best death in terms of like quality. Like I literally had, I've probably said this at least 3 times now. Like I had literally had to get up and like step away from my microphone after I recorded that. It is so an intense, emotional, sad, violent, and Mark's is also violent. And I think like Mark suffers. Joey does the trope thing where you do something bad, you're going to suffer, and he does. And, so I'm just curious, what do you think? Do you think Sidney stays with him? I mean, so what we see of Sidney is that whenever Mark wakes up, Sidney is there in the hospital sleeping with a sling on in the chair next to him. And that's the last we see of them as a couple in the final Scream, which is a wild place. If you would have told me that that's how we end the Kincaid relationship 2 years ago, I would have said, no way, we would never do that. We would end happily ever after. But the story instead ends with Sidney, with Sadie, and then with Gail, and the girls, and then alone, and then this bird metaphor. So, what are your thoughts on how all of this resolved? Even through the prequel,
how it resolved. Let's start with Gail because she has like the shortest of it all, but also like just so badass. Like that was crazy. Joey really had no chill in this script because like this girl is struggling to finish off her dad, and she's like, I can't, and then here comes Gail like, don't worry, I got it. Like that is so like to me beyond like that's I told you jail cell for Gail because she's about to decapitate this girl's dad.
She decapitates him and says, "Sorry for the heads up," right?
Yeah, like she's just quipping, like she gives no fucks, and it was just so cool. I loved it. I feel like it's probably would be one of her best moments if it was really part of the series. And I hope she gets something equally as cool because Gail is fucking cool. Like come on. So so moving on to let's do Sadie because she's also I do love that because I talked to you like maybe we'll talk more about it in depth at another time, but therapeutically that idea of being confronted with a version of yourself, right? For Sidney, especially since like I was talking to you about it, like, Sidney maybe likely didn't really see herself as the victim back then. It was just her mom. Like she was concerned about that. And she probably never left enough space for herself to really take care of herself. So now she got to re-experience a version of her trauma, reflected into her from this girl and see just how vulnerable she was. And how much help she probably needed and get to have this sort of like exercise and healing with Sadie as they help each other because they're probably the only 2 women in the world that understand each other at this point in terms of like the Maureen of it all and being targeted in this way. So it's both devastating but also almost like a gift for Sidney. Because let's be honest, a lot of people were probably never it in terms of like understanding, right? Yeah. Gail understands, but only to an extent from her perspective. This gives Sidney a daughter figure that understands, but it doesn't have to be her daughter. It didn't have
Yeah.
to be her who, was the vehicle in which her daughter was victimized,
Right.
So I thought that that was, like, merciful for Sydney. And then I guess I'm moving on to Sydney and Mark. Do I feel like they would stay together? I feel like Mark would definitely still be a dad. I think that Sydney wouldn't be like, "Oh, get away from me." She would more than welcome him to be an active father. I'm not quite sure Sydney would trust him.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean? That's all.
and that's kind of like the whole point of the character development is like Sydney, like, and this is what I like. It's not the traditional thing. It's not that what I would have dreamt up for Sydney, but I love what Joey did because it kind of feeds into the theme. And plus, like, this is a spec script. This isn't like, meant to be gospel. This is ideas and like, just creativity. Like, what he does with Sydney is he looks back, at Sydney from the original trilogy and like how she's built up trust and like that ability to connect with people on a friendship level, on a romantic level, and all the work that she's done from the original trilogy through now. And he takes all of that away from her. Like, and yet she's still standing. She's still good. She is still the Sidney Prescott hero that we all love. And she proves to be who she, even without all of that, the safety of, that trust, she is still the hero that we all love. So, that being said, I think that it's an interesting way to round out her character, especially because she gets to come face to face with Sadie. It's almost like she's looking at that girl where she started out, and now she's kind of finishing, and she sees like how much she has grown. I don't know. I think it's nice. I'm a bit more forgiving of Mark than you are. I think that they probably would have stayed together. I think it would have been a long road for them to reconnect. I think that Sydney wouldn't want her girls to grow up without a father. I think that she would forgive him, but I don't know. It probably would be hard for her to trust. I don't know. I like that Joey left it open to interpretation because it's a really thorny thing to unravel. But I think it's also true to who Sydney is that she wouldn't have left the father of her children hanging in the hospital after he was almost killed in their home.
I was thinking about this in the sense of like, it's the perfect ending because, Sydney, like you said, kind of ends where she began and she gets to like save herself quite literally. It's almost like the ultimate like finisher when you're as far as trauma processing goes. Sometimes I have clients do say that to me that I've helped myself up or I've helped myself through the moment. That's something that does happen in trauma reprocessing. So again, Sydney having the opportunity to have that really kind of ends this in general the franchise. If it were to end here, it's quite perfect because she saved and I guess you could say fucked up their plan and saved herself, saved the next version of herself, and she gets to control that. And then her final test really is, now she's in the position her father was.
Yeah.
She probably likely wanted her father to work it out with her mother. Can
Mhm.
she do the same? you
Yeah.
know and then that's going to be intensely complicated and different for her.
Yeah.
I feel like I was thinking about Scream 7 because Joey does a very similar thing with Sam, right? Kind of breaks her down, but yet Sam dies because Sam usually leans to anger. She's impulsive, she's unstable. Sydney, even in immense pain, just has serenity.
Yep.
Like, it's Mark that's crying out for her and she's just sitting there,
Mhm.
right? She just
Yeah.
gets still. And this is why, Sydney is a final girl, right? She could just handle it. She can keep herself together, and she just sort of just sort of meditates on things and keeps it moving in that way. So I like that both of these are like, screams in the middle, and these are cappers, sort of mirror each other in that way. And, poor Sam. I love Joey Sam so much.
I'm
So it's like, poor
glad.
Sam, there's like another hit for you. But, I think that it kind of justifies his choice there with Sam. She is radically different. When she is unstabilized, she's all over the place. When Sydney's unstable, she is at her center.
Yeah.
She's focused. She's able to do things. I mean, she was just calm by this man's bed while he's all like a pincushion. That's crazy.
Well, and the thing about the Sam of it all, like, I think it was really important for Joey because he gave the Carpenters such a brutally honest fate, in terms of killing off the bloodline. And like, I think that based on the Sam that we got to see through that point from 5 and 6 to here, I think it made sense for her to die in the end. I think she is more of a tragic figure than she is a heroic one. I think Joey did a lot to recuperate her, but it's just because she died doesn't mean that she isn't whatever. So it doesn't matter. But like, I think that Joey applied as much pain to that script as he does here. And I think that's important. Like that's what I want to see in Scream movies. I don't want to see beach volleyball buddy movie that Scream 6 was. I want to see the painful stuff that like we saw with Joey's scripts, all of them.
No, I agree, because like there used to be such tension in watching a Scream movie. I don't know if you can remember, but
Yeah.
for me, there used to be tension because you don't know who you're going to lose. And then the fun comes in the rewatch, right? They become comfort when you already know what to expect. But when you're watching them, like it's tense as hell. Like, you know, I can remember the first time I watched, 2 through 3. I was like, oh my God, Randy, no. Or, no, Parker Posey. And like, especially Kirby, I was like, God damn it, I thought she was going to make it through this movie, And the tension that really exists in those films, because the way that Wes does it, he does it earnestly. This matters. These people matter. Even someone that people could say as vapid as like Sarah Darling, she has a moment where she's like advocating for her own humanity as a woman in film. She's like, why? Like no woman would do this. Like she has empathy for Angelina. You have that little moment for her where she's like, she cares. Like she identifies with that. And yeah, like I feel like she was allowed enough, humanity is short, before she dies to feel like a real human being. I liked Sarah Darling.
Me too.
By the time she died, And I feel like that's one of the strongest things about Joey's scripts. They're always so brutal and so like just full of stakes, There's not a Joey opening that hasn't left me like hollowed out on the inside.
Yeah.
And every single time, his final shot of what happens in terms of like the bodies and stuff like that always stays with me, like seared in my memory. And I'm just thinking to myself like, damn, like when was the last time Scream did that to me? Like actually, the actual franchise. So for me, I'm like, I think that Joey takes the KC of it all to heart, just like Wes did.
Yeah. Anyways, so Jess, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
Well, I'm RavenFX5 on Twitter and Blue Sky.
Awesome. Everybody, please enjoy the rest of the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Scream with Ryan C. Showers. I'm your host, Ryan C. Showers. Thank you for joining me for this little holiday Zoom. So this is fun, just getting to hang out with my friends and patrons and everybody who helps make this podcast a fun place to be, both in the group chats, but also on the show. So I'm excited to be celebrating the holiday season. I love the holidays, and I love that we get to have Scream as a part of the holiday spirit, because the original films came out around the Christmas holiday or the winter time. So yeah, let's start talking about some holiday spirit. So I gave everybody the open prompt to talk about anything that they wanted. This is free reign as long as it's relevant to the podcast. Don't come on and be like, I don't know, whatever. But like, Scream, anything from Scream 1 to 6, Scream 7, the trailer, anticipation, and other movies you are looking forward to seeing, Buffy, but the Buffy reboot, Taylor, Sam. I can't stop talking about Taylor. We know that's, we're going to start with Sam. So Sam, what do you have to say about Taylor Swift? I know, like, I'm sure you have a 4-point bullet plan of like your notes on the Eras Tour documentary. So
Totally, Ryan. Literally cannot stop talking about Taylor Swift ever.
Happy Hanukkah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. And happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all of you, whatever you're celebrating. So honestly, first of all, I just really wanted to come on here and thank you all, because I am so grateful for this community, having found this community. These past 2 years have been rough, especially starting during the pandemic. So I'm so glad that I found you all. It's been a wonderful place to bond with all of you over our shared love of Scream and Buffy and like various other things and like pop culture. Like it's been delightful. So I want to thank you all, because meeting you all, like especially during a time when the pandemic made it hard to socialize and see all my friends that I normally see. And I'm glad I got to meet all of you, because I have I have friends and acquaintances from around the world with the shared love of these things. So thank you. I would also like to say, quite frankly, I would never have met Charisma Carpenter if I hadn't joined this group, because who I've now hung out with twice, because Sarah Campbell was the one who brought to my attention the birthday party live recording of her podcast that night. So Sarah isn't here, but I'll have to send her a muffin basket, which I've told her before. She refuses. But yeah, let's see. First of all, where do I even start?
Can I make a joke?
I don't know. Can you?
No, I can't. That's the funny thing. So as my good friend Cordelia would say, it's for the yearbook.
Yeah. God.
No, well, I'm just so happy that you got to meet Charisma Carpenter not only once but twice. It like the picture of you with her, just like last week, warmed my heart. Like again, like I wish that like one of these days, like there's going to be an event where I am free from my job and I will be able to rush into the city and we can get a picture with her
Yeah.
together. So
Well, that would be amazing also, but I love the fact that I made, like, 10 new friends because of her. You know that
yeah.
story. You know that story because when
Hmm.
I went to that night when I went, she organized, like, a little solo chat on her Patreon account that said, "If you guys are coming to this event by yourself, please introduce yourselves and meet yourselves here so that you're not gonna feel alone and that you won't feel like you have somebody to talk to." And so I made, like, 10 new friends, and now we see each other, like, all go out once a month, either Buffy trivia or, like, other Buffy, like, events in the city or, like, even non-Buffy stuff like going to musicals and things. So that's been wonderful. I'm really excited about Scream. I have to tell you about all the movie premiere that I went to a couple weeks ago. You
Yeah,
guys will
yeah.
love this. I know I think I dropped mentioned it briefly in the chat, but I just kind of like dropped it surprise on you all because I barely even knew it myself. So everybody, does everyone in here know who Monica Keena is? Mostly, some people, yeah, okay. So I went to high school with her. Um, and I hadn't seen her in like since high school, but she emerged from social media silence about 2 years ago, and she started, like, kinda she coming back on, started posting stuff, and I was one of the people that she started to, like, reestablish contact with. A couple few weeks ago, she posted on Instagram about this new movie that she had starred in, that called Last Chance Motel, like a new trashy horror flick, and it was directed by Danielle Harris and Scout Taylor Compton of the Halloween franchise, and I said how exciting it was, and she said, "Sam, come on down, come to the theater." Well, you don't have to she didn't have to tell me twice. So, of course, I went, invited Eric Champney to come with me. He came with me. I was so excited to see her, and it became more and more apparent as the night went on that she was not going to be there, and that definitely made me a little bit sad, but then people started coming into the red carpet, and that was when I realized that I had completely forgotten that the one and only Heather Langenkamp
Mm.
was also in the film, and I noticed her on the red carpet doing interviews with Danielle Harris and Scout Taylor Compton. I was like, "Oh my god, look, Heather Langenkamp is here," and I looked to Eric beside me, and he's like, so we watched the movie. The movie was like such trashy fun. It was great. And so after the movie was over, like people were allowed to ask questions and talk to them. Eric got up there way up there first. I don't even remember what I was doing, but I was like probably sitting there back there finishing my snacks because anybody who knows me knows I'm a huge foodie. And so we get up there and finally I go up and so finally we make our way to the front. And I saw Eric like, talking to Heather and I just went up there and also like stood next to him and smiled. And I don't exactly remember what they were talking about, but at one point, it said there was a question or something point, and Heather said, "It's what Wes wanted." Let me
Mm.
tell you, when she said that, my heart like just started pounding so hard. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm in the room. I am 1 degree away from Wes right now."
Yeah.
And it just and then of course I introduced myself and she shook my hand and we took a photo. It was such an amazing night and I immediately felt I wanted to share this experience with you because now you all are 1 degree away from West too. And it's such a it was that was so amazing. So in the spirit of now all of us being 1 degree away from West, I just want to say that this group has fully gotten me back on the Scream 7 train after like months of being a notorious hater. I know I'm a lovable hater, but I'm still a hater. And I just wanted to say that the trailer is very impressive and I have been incredibly hyped up by all the hype that this group has been giving to it. So, to Ryan, to Ashley, to all of you, you've won me over and I would love to be able to see Scream 7 in person with y'all. I realize that that's not a likelihood, but in spirit, we will be there together as far as I'm concerned, and I can't wait to talk to all of you about what ends up happening, and I promise the gods this time, I swear I will not spoil the ending for myself before I go see it.
Well, as my good friend Cordelia Chase once said, "And you're welcome." Yeah. Yeah. So no, thank you for the kind words, Sam. I love your story about Heather. I forgot that you met her. You had like, 1 week it was Heather Legging Camp and the Scout and Danielle, and then the next week.
It's the cosmic balance, like the universe just like balancing things out to keep you humble and grounded. But yeah, I'm kind of like, I can't believe what my life has been like lately. And a lot of that is due to all of you. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Sam. So, Sam, thank you for coming and sharing the stories. It's a really beautiful way to start out the Zoom in a fun way. Heather and charisma. I mean, come on.
Oh my God. Oh my God. No, I mean, yeah. Again, the minute that Heather mentioned Wes's name, I just like my like chills went right up my spine. And he's the reason we're all here. He's the
Yeah,
reason,
yes.
and so he is the reason that all of us are together in this podcast. And I truly now have faith that Kevin will, bring perspective. I am going to be pissed if he kills the twins off. I will be honest about that. I am gonna be honest about that. But I have more faith now that he's going to bring it back to where the series should be. And,
Well,
I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah. And obviously also all the Buffy love and yeah, y'all and yes, please feel free to send me 83 random texts about Taylor Swift anytime you want. I'm always here for that.
I love it, Sam. So thank you for sharing. And what a wonderful way to start out with a nice tribute to Wes. Well, Sam, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
Okay, so y'all can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Sam B. Levy, and also on my YouTube channel, Informed Nostalgia. Episodes are periodically coming out every once in a while, and working on the next one. We're going to try and work on a holiday special soon. So thank you all. Yes, again, thank you all for your time. Ryan, thank you for this time. And yeah, I'll be right back.
Well, thank you, Sam. All right. I'm going over next to my friend Brittany because I haven't talked to her in a long time. We have something planned very, very soon, actually, which has been in the works for a long time. So I'm excited to do that. I've actually been thinking and brainstorming for our thing that we have coming up. So everyone, please welcome Brittany. Hey, Britt.
Okay. My phone's been acting up all day.
How are you? It's a Wednesday. You can make it.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm tired. Sorry if I look tired. It's been my kid's last week of school before break, and my
Mm-hmm.
daughter's birthday is tomorrow, and she
Aw,
had a cheer competition this weekend, and her team won.
nice.
And I always tell her they're the little ghost faces because their team colors are black, red, and white.
I
So
love it. That's so cool. And we love that, everyone out in the universe will now know that the cheerleading team is the Ghost Faces. We love it.
she loves Scream. She's going to be 8, so I show her certain things.
Hmm.
She seems to like the older stuff a little bit more, so I'm proud mom moment. My son, and they have good taste. I still limit on what little things she can watch, but she's very curious about it because she knows I love Ghostface. So
Yeah. Well, that's so cool. It's so nice to see you and hear from you. I know that we have something special planned regarding Sydney and Scream 7, but if there's anything you'd like to share about Scream or Scream 7 or the trailer and that as a tease for our other thing, feel free.
I'm just really excited. We're getting a 7th movie. I don't know if it's with me getting older. I'm just very open minded to what direction they're going. I'm excited to see the motherhood chapter of Sydney just because I feel like I've grown up with her. I was 13 when the first one came out, so that ages me. But I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm a little sad to see the Sam story end because I did enjoy seeing the mental health aspect. It's a little strange to think about her becoming Ghostface, which was the direction they were going to go in. But at the same time, I feel like that's Sam's scream and not Sydney's scream.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
down the line, we may see it, but
can I ask, since you brought it up, because we are living in this world, there will be a segment about Sam and like what Skeet Ulrich said about her. Let's just be accurate to his quote. He said that he was pitched this 3-picture story where Billy as a ghost would be turning his daughter into Ghostface, or slowly turning his daughter into Ghostface. And you mentioned the mental health. I actually feel as though if we're looking at Sam from a mental health perspective, that her story ending where it does with Scream 6 is actually a good note to end on for mental health in terms of her rejecting the darkness and dropping the mask and walking away with her family. I think that's actually a strong message as it pertains to mental health, as opposed to what they were going to do, which was, again, I guess, let her mental health cripple and her turn into a murdering person. I don't know. So, but I don't know. I've always wanted to see the best in Sam. I know that like there are people out there who do want her to be evil and embrace this evil side of her. But like even in like Scream 5, like I see the good in her and I see her heart, and that's the Sam that I recognize. But what are your thoughts?
I agree. I think Sam is a very layered character. There's a lot of depth to her, and I think there's still a lot unexplored,
Mm.
but I just don't think we're going to really ever see that, and that's okay. But I'm glad where they left it, because I think if she were to turn to her bloodlust, which we saw, she was flirting with it a lot, that would have been hard to watch. But
Yeah.
that's it's like I can play devil's advocate for both sides of it. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I'm glad that we're going in the direction that we're going.
Me
So
too. I think so. I think it's just the best things. So I'll just tease to everybody now. So Brittany and I have been planning like this like Sydney motherhood kind of prediction episode, kind of like leading up to Scream 7. We've been talking about it for a while, but I had this vision of it being like because we're so close to the movie, guys. Well, guys, we are 2 months away from the movie. It
mhm.
is unfathomable to me. There's a part of me that feels like this movie was never going to come out, just for how long we had to wait and all of the hoops that we jumped through. And we are almost there. Like we are a stone's throw away from it. And so I wanted to have this idea of like having like an episode dedicated to predicting Sydney's and like her relationship with her daughter and her relationship with herself in the lead up to Scream 7, because there's only so many episodes left until we all get to see it. So Ashley and I recorded something for that episode today, and it's just so I'm like really like in the Sydney vibe, the Sydney headspace. So yeah. But Brittany, is there anything you want to tease about your perspective on Sydney or what you want to see from her in Scream 7?
I think where Sydney's at, she's in her mid is, I'm guessing, 45, 46.
Mm-hmm.
She's tired of everybody's shit. Perimenopause is a bitch. You're in your 40s. But I think that she's had a good experience with becoming a mother, I'm assuming, and it's something that Ghostface hasn't really had a chance to mess with. There's innocence, and she's had peace
Yeah.
for what, 16, 17 years? I'm guessing how old Tatum is, I'm not sure. But somebody's going to mess with that. And no matter how exhausted she is and no matter how much energy she has, the thought of somebody messing with her child and toying with her family, it's going to bring this a whole other side of her out. And I think we're going to see a really big fight. So I'm trying to think of the right words. So I need to get more sleep, but
Well, I agree, and it's so interesting. It feels like such an urgent, like necessary thing in this story. It just feels like this has just been waiting to happen. So it's so cool. I don't want to interrupt the flow of the conversation, but I just want to plug to everybody here. By the time that like this episode comes out, this episode will be released. But I've been working diligently, tirelessly on Joey Valisi's third and final script for the podcast, and it's Sydney centric, and it's kind of about like her marriage to Mark Kincaid. Since that is never going to be on screen, we wanted to do a little story to round it out, and we kept her kids very young, so her kids are elementary in our age in our script, and it's gonna be fun to. This is like a nice appetizer to the real Scream 7. So I hope everybody enjoys it whenever it comes out in 2 days. Well, you guys will be able to listen tomorrow. I'm going to put up on Patreon at 7. So it's long. It's great. We both worked really hard on it, and I'm just like I'm so into Sydney right now. Like I'm like Ariana and Cynthia on the red carpets. Like any little thing about Sydney makes me start to well up with tears. Like ask Ashley. I probably was on the verge of tears at least 7 times this today at lunch. So, but yeah, we love Sydney and everything, and I love what Brittany said here about like this change in Sydney. Like I think there's gonna be a ferocious Sydney, violence in her fight, in her defense of her family. So, Brittany, is there anything else you want to share before we move on?
I'm sad that Mark Kincaid's not in the new movie. I admit that. I always felt that him and Sydney had a little bit of chemistry in Scream 3. I don't know. Maybe it's just me,
Yeah.
but it is.
I will say I moved on from it very quickly when it happened
Mhm.
because I didn't want to be negative. I didn't want to have any like sad. I didn't want to be negative for the podcast. But doing the script and like seeing like their conversations, like Joey the conversation of Sidney and Kincaid in the station in Scream 3, he kind of finds that similar cadence and magic many
Mhm.
times in the script, in like positive ways, like in love, in passion, but also in anger and sadness, and like just there's so many different shades of their relationship here, and it does make me sad, like what could have been, but it is what it is. I'm going in with an open mind to Mark
Mhm.
Evans, so We'll see.
I'm nervous. I have an idea of who I think this ghost face is going to be in Scream 7, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. I want to be wrong.
All right. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for coming. It was really nice to see you.
Yeah. It's nice to see everybody. It's been a
It,
while.
it has. It has. What was the last time you were on? I forget.
I want to say 2022, maybe
Yeah.
2023. Probably 2023, and then everything that happened with Scream 6. I got some really creepy messages on X.
No.
And I'm not active on social media at all. I'm the most boring person on social media, but I wanted to take a break.
Yeah.
Seeing all the negativity and the anger, and then I found out they were threatening you and trying to dox your address, which is insane.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, we've survived.
yes.
We've overcome, and we are we can almost touch the movie. So, but thank you, Brittany, and I'm excited to do our recording here in a couple of days.
Yeah, I'm making notes, so I will be rested. It will be Sunday.
I don't know if you guys know, but like, so for the group Zooms, I don't really come with notes, but like for like other, basically any other recording, I type out basically everything I plan to say because otherwise I will sound like a garbled mess. And it's just, it's like, it's like Ash. We have like two of the complete opposite approaches to doing our Scream recordings, our Taylor recordings. Like I will have everything typed out, and Ashley's like she just hops on and just brilliance comes out of her mouth. Ash.
I can't write things down or else I get too confused with what I'm going to say. I just have to, my brain is it's too goobly gauche already up in here that if I try to read what I'm doing and thinking at the same time, I'm like, nope, I'm going to just I'm the opposite. I'm going to sound crazy if I have notes. So, and Brittany, you sounded great. So just so you know, I was just sitting here being like, this woman is perfect.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I enjoy hearing you on the podcast, Ellie. Enjoy hearing
thank you.
like the deep dives on Taylor Swift. My best friend's a big Swiftie. I like her. I'm not the biggest Swiftie, but I do like her, and I've been learning a lot.
You'll learn a lot from Ryan and I.
So I think my favorite album of hers is probably Midnights or whatever one that came out 2020 with August, the song August.
Folks.
So, but my best friend's a huge Swiftie. So, but she listens to me talk about Scream all the time. Her and my poor husband, they have to accompany me to the movies. So,
I love it. You sound like a really fun bunch. Horror and Taylor, like, I'll come over and bring wine. I mean,
I make lemon squares. I have been since Scream 4.
Yeah.
Bring them to the movie theater. I hide them in a big bag, and I don't care if we get caught, but whatever.
Do you guys, so my mom, she like bought a bunch of stuff to take into the theater to see Scream 4 back in 2011, and we got caught, and my mom probably spent like $35 on just soda and snacks, and for a big group of like kids that she was taking, and they took it and took all of this up and before Scream 4. I couldn't believe it. It still shocks me, all these years later.
They have to be really in a bad mood to do that.
Yeah, now I feel like anything goes. Like whenever Abby and I went to see Wicked, Abby could have carried in a full-on pizza and we would have been fine.
We brought in my husband and I went and saw the new I Know We Did Last Summer in August, and we brought in a bunch of stuff and they didn't care, and I don't know if it's because nobody else was in the theater with us.
Well, cool. I love that you mentioned Midnights because the song that we kind of picked for the Sidney episode is from Midnights, and it's really good. Oh my gosh. So
okay.
Yeah, anyways. Brian and I both were like almost crying.
But it was like love
a good way.
I just love Sidney so much, and I love her story, and I love how the humanity in her, and I love just the ideas about her. And I just like, whenever you think about things that Taylor Swift has said, the ideas, and you apply it to Sidney, like it just does something to me where I like levitate, literally float and stuff. But so anyways, Brittany, I can't wait for our recording and for everyone to see this episode that we're working on for Sidney. So
somebody commented they were 3 or 4 when Scream came out. Oh my God. I saw it opening weekend. I remember my parents wouldn't let me see Beavis and Butthead. You can go see Scream. And my 10-year-old brother was allowed to go with me, but I was covering his face during Drew Barrymore scene.
Well, inquisitive for that to have worked out that way, I think.
Well, my dad was showing me Halloween and Jason when I was 5 or 6. If I remember correctly, the original previews on TV, it kind of looked like a thriller. Didn't seem like a straight up horror movie. So I think they thought, oh, this is fine. I don't want you watching Beavis and Butthead.
Meanwhile, opening scene of Drew Barrymore being gutted and hung from a tree, right?
We're just shell shocked. The feeling in the theater was electric. And I feel like all of the movies have been feeling that way. 5 felt kind of different, and 6, but 1 through 4, yeah.
and hopefully 7.
Well, it
Hopefully,
will be.
fingers crossed.
I
So,
think so.
all right. Well, Brittany, do you want to share any social media platform or?
No, I'm the most boring person. I have Instagram, but a lot of it has to do with my job. I have to kinda keep
Yeah,
things on
clean.
lockdown.
So,
Yeah.
well, nice to see you, and we will talk soon. All right, let us now go over to my friend. Since we've been talking so much about Sydney, he has a Sydney shirt on. Everyone, please welcome Lucas. Hey, Lucas.
Hey Ryan, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. In the spirit of Sydney talk, this is like, I don't know, fortuitous.
Mary Sydney, Miss. I should say. I don't know that that's not a word, but
I'll
Sydney is
make it one.
everything. So,
Exactly.
so what's up, Lucas?
Much just been really boring. There's nothing happening in the world. There's no Scream 7 or Wicked or Buffy all coming. No Taylor. So
Mm-hmm.
no,
Yeah.
it's a joke, obviously. But yeah, no, I'm just really excited for 7, Sydney. And I'm gonna tell the story. This sweatshirt I bought during the Scream 6 era.
Okay.
Because I was missing Sydney. I was
Aw.
depressed. I was sad. And I was like, I'm going to manifest this. And I wore it to Scream 6, hoping she'd be in it. But,
Yeah.
it was just, hey, she's back now. So,
She's back now. I noticed that, your fave, Scream 4, is represented on that shirt. So we love
yes.
that.
Yes.
We love Sydney in Scream 4. So there's actually a moment in Joey's script where he talks about like Sydney, like she hears something in the house. And like this script that Joey wrote, so like it's lengthy, it's novelistic, there's so much detail. You'll be able to envision things so clearly. There's like this part where he talks about Sydney and how her instincts take over. And he like describes her body movement. And it reminds me so much of the Sydney and Scream 4. And it's just I hope that everybody sees the beauty in the script that I do. So, but no, I love that. I've never seen a Sydney and Scream 4 shirt. So we love that.
Yeah. Gotta love Scream 4. Gotta represent it. It's my favorite.
But your second fave is also represented Scream 5. I know how much you love that movie.
Love it so much. It's just my favorite movie ever. Just kidding. I love Sydney in that movie. I mean,
Yeah.
just another example of how good Neve is, even in a movie that doesn't really surface her as it could have been. So, I mean, yeah, that's all
So
to
do you watch The Lincoln Lawyer?
I have. Yeah, I
Is it
really like it.
So I haven't been able to talk about it on the podcast just because all the episodes were like loaded so that I could be working on the script for 2 weeks. It was announced just recently that The Lincoln Lawyer season 4, she's back as a series regular, and it's going to be premiering, I think, like February 5th. And that's like just the same month as Scream 7. Fuck yeah, Neve Campbell getting like such a moment in
Should
February.
February just be Neve Campbell month? Like, I mean, do we need to patent that or trademark it or something?
We should hop on it because you know what else came out in February? Her Oscar-winning performance in Scream 3. So there you go.
That's right. Yeah, that's
It is
right.
Neve Campbell month. I love it.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm so excited. I cannot wait for Scream 7. It's getting closer and closer. I think the more people are like bitching about not having more marketing, it's like you're doing the job for them. They're just like biding their time because they know we're hungry for it. So just
Yeah.
enjoy the process.
Yeah. Do you have like a low key, unexpected prediction about Sydney in Scream 7? Like, what's something that isn't obvious that you think could happen to her in Scream 7 or with her?
I don't know if I really have any expectation. I mean, Nev just delivers every time. Maybe like I want a moment where she kind of takes a Gale thing,
Mm-hmm.
something she learns from Gale. Like I do think in the newer films, there were a couple moments where she was embodying like a Dewey quality. So maybe this one, like she'll pick up a nuance from Gale. She'll be like a bitch in one scene, and we're like, wow, Sydney's not usually that bitchy. So maybe something like that. That'd be exciting to see. And Gale kind of like, cheer her on or pat her on the back. Be like, yeah, let's do it.
Do we think that the punch will come back? Because we haven't, I mean, it was the Sydney punch, not the Tara punch. I don't want to think about that.
I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah. Who would
Just
she
not
punch?
a Gale.
Yeah, not Gail. Who would she punch? We could do like Mindy.
Maybe the guy that's like messing with Gale, because they're supposed to be like a counterpart for Gale. That'd be kind of cool to see Sydney do that, or like a double punch from both of them.
Yeah. Or maybe Gail gets so much. Maybe Gail punches him. I don't
That's
know.
right.
I feel like if she did those, she would get really canceled. Like, because he's apparently, like the idea, there's like rumors that Gail could be dealing with cancel culture. If she,
Taylor wrote a song about, so hey,
Yeah.
you know what? It's all coming to fruition.
like my whiskey sour. Exactly.
right.
Oh my gosh. Well, I have a confession to make about Scream 7. I haven't talked about this on the podcast. I think Sydney's going to be 10 out of 10. I'm not worried at all about Sidney. I think she, Neve, Kevin, they're going to nail Sidney. They're going to nail Tatum. They're going to nail the tone. I think it's going to be spiritually like the original trilogy. I'm kind of worried about Gail. I think like the movie for me, whether it like goes like into the original trilogy territory for me, is going to be based on Gale. Like I think that this 7 there's only one way to go after Scream 6, and that's up in terms of just Gale's significance overall. But like as it pertains to like, I don't know, the volume of Gale, and like I just don't want Gale to betray Sidney. I want Gale to be the best version of. I want her to be like the Scream 4 Gale, or even the Scream 5 Gale. Like that's the Gale I want. I want, but I feel like I think Kevin has a different relationship with her than we do. I think we see her as like the evolved Gale. I think he still goes for the darker Gale, like the 1 and 2 Gale. And I think that I kind of think that she's going to be colder than I want her to be, but I don't know. What do you think about that, Lucas?
I mean, I hope not. When it comes to Sydney anyway, I hope she's not colder. I'm kind of interested to see her dynamic with Sydney's daughter too.
Yeah.
And if maybe that kind of conjures up old feelings of how she used to feel about Sydney when Sydney was going through it, and now her daughter is, if that's going to make her feel even more connected to Sydney and her family. So I don't know. I hope not, but you never know.
Yeah. No, I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe I would say this after Scream 6, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Mindy with. I think they're going to be so funny.
They will. Yeah. They're going to be a good foil for each other.
Yeah. So, well, Lucas, thank you so much for coming. Please
Yeah,
tell
thanks.
everybody where they can find you.
You can find me in the comment section. I don't even know my handles for anything. I'm always just in there bitching about something.
Or cheering on Sidney.
Sydney on, yeah. I do want to say one thing. Thought I had about Mark from not the new Mark, Patrick Dempsey's Mark. Is there a possibility he could come back in future installments? I mean, there's more than one Marks in the world, and maybe Mark is Sydney's kink, like the name, you know? So it could happen. It's not like we should just write Patrick. It's not like he died.
Yeah.
So
I would love that, and we can manifest it. Maybe, it all just depends. I don't know how the movie business really works, how forgiving people are. Like, I feel like, will there be bad blood with Patrick Dempsey and Spyglass? Would there be bad blood with Spyglass and Melissa? I don't know. I don't know how this works. My guess is it's more likely we'll get Patrick back than Melissa back, but that's just my guess. So, and way more likely to get Patrick back than Jenna back, I think. Just my guess.
it'd be interesting. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on now. Thank you, Lucas.
thank you.
All right. I'm going to go over to my friend, Carrie. Hey, Care.
Hey Ryan, how are you?
I'm well. How about you?
Doing good, doing good.
We have to go there, Care, just right off the bat. Please tell everybody how you and I are twinning these days, or how we will be twinning these days.
Okay, well, I found this picture and I turned it into a phone case. So I created it, bought one for myself, and then I asked Ryan what his model iPhone was, and I made one for him, and it's on his way to him. I just got mine today.
It's like,
I hold it up, it disappears, but it's
yeah, you can kind of see it. It's like a drawing silhouette of like Dewey in Scream 4, Sidney in 1, and Gale in 5. And like
Yep.
their colors, like Sidney's the gray sweater, and like Dewey's the sheriff, and then like Gale is the red pantsuit. I love it. I can't wait to get it.
I can't wait for you to get it either. I'm excited for you.
Well, tell everybody about something that you also worked on creatively that came last week, which I really loved.
Okay. Well, I created a 2026 calendar for the Scream franchise. I even included 1 month I dedicated to the Stab franchise. The last month, December, a year from now, I made it a Wes and Kevin themed month tribute, basically saying thanks for 30 years.
Well, my friend Lee Capasso is British guy. He makes these Scream and Buffy calendars, and I love his work. But he only made a Buffy calendar. He didn't make a Scream one this year. So I was kind of down a calendar. So Carrie like surprised me with this, and I was just like, "Oh, this is perfect." So I can't wait to start using it.
Me either. I'm ready to put it up on there, and I even had printed on there when all the previous films had come out, the anniversary dates, and then of course Scream 7.
And our birthdays on August
That
18th.
too.
There's my birthday. I was like, "Oh, look." So thank you, Care. But Carrie she's like the biggest like Dawson's Creek fan in the world. And I've fallen off. I was watching it and I was working progress like last spring, and then I started doing 2 episodes a week, and that fell off. So I'm going to be trying to hop back on the bandwagon here.
By the way, Sam, I definitely know Monica Keena, aka Abby Morgan.
Whenever Sam said her name, I saw your eyes get so big, Carrie. So
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Well, Carrie, do you want to share what your plans are for Scream 7? Like where you're going to see it?
Oh, okay. So, like I said, I was 17 when the first film came out, and I made a friend who's my age, during the Dawson's Creek days, and we're also big Scream fanatics. Ever since Scream 3, we have seen the movie together. Now she lives far away. She lives in Miami and I live near Baltimore. So ever since Scream 3, we've always made it a path to get together and watch the first showing of a new Scream movie whenever it comes out. I've gone, she's come to me, I've gone to her. Past 2 movies, she came up here, so I'm in February, I'm going down to Miami. We're gonna go see it on, the whatever the Thursday night showing, continue the tradition, and there happens to be a convention not too far away from her that weekend where, Matt and Skeet and David are going to be there, and they're going to be attending Scream 7 screenings. I might be going to that, I don't know yet.
I think you absolutely should. At least, I mean, like, Matthews is gonna be hopping. I mean, that's gonna be so special
Yeah.
considering how much he's a part of this movie. If I were there, I would go with David just because, well, he's in the movie, right? But, sentimental, I don't know.
Yeah. Mhm.
Wait, Skeet, Matthew, David. Sounds like a similar group we met, a couple months ago.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. Well, Kara, anything you wanna share about the holidays or Scream in the
Um,
holidays or anything else?
I was being Ryan, you can attest to this. I was being very, nostalgic last week when it was Friday, December 12th, and I was reminiscing about how, "Oh, it was 28 years ago today that I went and saw Scream 2, and I saw it
Right.
twice in one day." I never anticipated a movie so much, but I'm I'm anticipating 7, so and I cannot wait.
I was so wrapped up in the script and, like, the performance of the
Yeah.
script, I forgot it was the Scream 2 anniversary until Carrie told me.
Well, that's what I'm here for. No, just kidding.
That's literally what you're here for. No, I mean, like, Carrie is so full of, like, I mean, she's, like, encyclopedic with knowledge. Like,
Useless info, seriously.
oh my gosh. Well, and Carrie, we have an episode coming up that we did a couple of weeks ago. Why don't you tease everybody what we worked on or what you worked on and then we talked about?
So I worked on a slideshow presentation for each film up through 4, basically pointing out all the fun continuity and errors and such.
Yeah. That was a fun recording. I hope
Yeah,
people enjoy it.
I'm
It's
excited for people to see it.
We did the Scream 1 through 4, and then we're gonna
Mhm.
go back and do, 5 and 6, AKA the
Yeah.
ham sandwich.
Yep. Hashtag Allison Brie.
Hashtag Allison Brie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. Oh
Every
my
time I
goodness.
see her in a commercial, she's like doing these Macy's Christmas commercials.
Yeah.
Every time I see her, it pops right in my head.
Hashtag Allison Brie. Oh my gosh, like, I
Yeah.
forget about that moment in the summer, and that was like an earthquake, it's just so funny, and
Yeah.
every time I, like, see her post on Instagram, I think now I've noticed that she's been in the Macy commercials too. I'm like, "Oh, there's Allison Brie." So, very sweet. So, Kara, do you have any, Christmas traditions with Scream?
Not really, no, but, if I feel up to it, I'll pop on a movie here, or maybe have a little marathon here and there.
Yeah. Well, I love them, and I just, like, when it's cold and, like, it's snowy, I think of Scream, and
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be in the vibe. So, it's been really cold here in Pennsylvania the past 2 or 3 weeks. It's been, like, single
Mm.
digits, and I'm so dumb. Like, I just, like, but, like, because I was recording the script, I was, like, extra in the Scream spirit. I'm a crazy person. Like, who I don't this is insanity, but so, yeah.
Well, we like you're kinda crazy, so that's awesome.
Thank you.
No
Well, Carrie, thank you so much, and I'm excited for us to, like I'm excited to start watching Dawson's Creek again and doing, like, my little text to you as I watch while I work during the day. Like, I missed that time. Alright, well, Carrie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alright, let's go over now to my friend Hoodie. It's nice to see you, my friend.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It feels good to be back behind a microphone. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to see you, and I'm happy that you're here. So what's up, Hoodie? What's on your mind tonight?
I'm just happy to be here. I was listening to the episode. I finally got to listen to it today. It reminded me of when I found your podcast and I went back and binge watched to where you were. It
Mhm.
just brought back memories from whenever I first found your podcast.
Aw. You mean the Scream 1 finale episode that came
I
out?
finally got to listen to it. Yeah.
You know what? I told Josh Carr this. So neither Josh Carr or Bria are here tonight. They were the 2 guests on that episode. And I told him yesterday we were talking about it, and I said, that just felt like an old school like Ryan C.
hmm
Showers episode. Where I wasn't covering news. It was just like about like the characters and the scene, and I love doing episodes like that.
Yeah, and I like how you said, like, whenever she said about binge listening to your podcast. You're like, "Ooh, I hope you got through those old episodes." Like when you're talking about like your audio and stuff, and I was like, "Ooh, I feel the same way." Like when I went back and like was listening to my old episode, I was like, "Ooh, the audio was so bad."
I don't remember you ever having bad audio. Like, 'cause like, I feel like you've always had a microphone even when you've come to the Zooms before you even had your own show.
I think when I started doing the Zooms, I had better microphone at that point. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know what, man? You live and you learn when it comes to podcasting. Like, I've gone through like 3 different versions of my mic, and like, and now I just feel like to listen to anything before season 3, it's just like, "Ooh, Ryan, get it, grow up."
Mhm. Yeah, I could clearly hear like the difference from like I think around season 3, like you're saying, to now. Like
Mhm.
your audio's just got a lot better.
I bought this mic. So this mic that if you remember, Albert was my editor for the first 4 years. I just started editing the show myself here a couple, just in May. And I said to him, I was getting ready to do Joey's first script to bring it back to the script. And I said to him, Albert, I want a great microphone to do this script. And I said, I want you to pick it out. You're the one who has to listen to me and edit me. Pick out. And it was expensive, but it's been a good investment for sure.
Yeah, it's in order to get good ones, you gotta pay money for them. Like this one was like 200 some dollars. Like man, and I have
Yeah.
3 of them now. I'm like, no, that's a lot.
Oh my gosh. Well, Huddy, anything you want to share about Scream and Scream 7 or anything else out in the ether?
I'm just ready, man. I don't know what it is. I'm ready to for Scream 7 to come out. It's like I want it to be here, but at the same time, I want to live in this moment because once it gets here, we won't never get this back. Which
Yeah.
I know we'll probably get a Scream 8, Scream 9, so we'll still have that. But going from not having Sydney in 6 to now having her back in 7, I want to live in this moment. But at the same time, I was like, come on, give me 7 already.
I do too, but at the same time, like, it's been so long.
Yeah.
It's been so long. Um, because like Scream 6 came out in March of 23, and we're gonna be seeing 7 in February of 26, almost 3 years, and, like, it was kind of a long 3 years, but at the same
Hmm.
time, it also feels like a blink of an eye, and sometimes I feel like it's still November 2023, and sometimes I don't know.
Yeah. And then I forgot, I think she said it on the episode Tuesday about how like she got closure from
Mhm.
y'all's y'all's script. And I kind of felt the same way because y'all wrapped the story up so well. It's like I kind of wish that was the actual Scream 7, like the way y'all
Mhm.
scripts are. So like I whenever you said that the your script for this Friday is coming out, I'm like, dude, I can't wait.
Listen, I'm gonna give you guys a little tip, and like Joey's not here, so he can't yell at me. There's something that happens between Cindy and Mark, or in their relationship that it's gonna hurt. It's something about Mark that happens in the script is gonna hurt everybody. And if you're into the scripts, it's gonna hurt. If you're not, if you think that the scripts are silly, you whatever. But like there is something that happens with Cindy and Mark that is really really deep, and so I'm gonna be curious to see how people react. Are they going to be I don't know. I'm just curious. Are people gonna be mad at Joey for doing this, or will they be like, "Oh, this was a really good twist on the story"? But thank you for saying that about. I would thank Bria again for saying that. Ironically, I wasn't planning on this episode coming right before the script, but it worked out perfectly that she said that, and then hello, we have a new script on Friday. But thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. And like, yeah, I think that like the closure he gave Sam and Tara in the first script that we did, it was very powerful and very emotional. And I hope that because we're not seeing Mark as Sydney's husband for all this time. I hope that this script here gives people a little bit of the same kind of closure to him, and this idea that radio silence force fed us and then took it back.
Yeah. I think y'all will. I think y'all do a perfect job.
Are you a Kincaid fan? I mean, I know you're a Scream 3 person, but are you a Kincaid fan?
Yeah, because I thought there was a connection there. Because like, met her in a certain, like, playing field, like, they both had dark past, I guess you can say, so, like, I like that, I just hate that Radio Silence said it was him, and then now we're not getting it.
Yeah. That there's a lot of lessons you learn along the way. It's like, don't say shit until it's locked the fuck down.
Yeah.
So I've learned that myself. But through that, I was like, ooh, yeah, don't want to give anybody else that pain. But um, yeah, well, Huddy, anything you want to share about Sydney and Gail or anything relating to Scream 7?
I just hope we get, like, a I know we're gonna get a Sydney story, I just hope Gail's used as well too, because I do feel like she gets put on the back burner sometimes, but I think I think Kevin's gonna do a really good job of throwing them both in there and equally using them, so
Yeah. I'm afraid. I don't know who I've told this. I've told a couple people, but I'm afraid that like because like, Sydney and Gail, they're equals for me. They've always been here and here. I feel like if Gail isn't everything I want her to be in 7, Sydney's going to pull ahead just a little bit. I don't know. If if Sydney is 8, 10 out of 10 and Gail was supposed to say 8 out of 10, I don't know. I want them to be equal. I want my queens to be the same. So, well, Huddy, thank you so much. Please tell everybody where they can find you and your show.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Hoodie Season, and then my podcast is Hoodie Talks Podcast on everything.
Awesome. All right. Let's go over now to, my other Nev besties here, the Scream Queens podcast, Justine and Josh. We are not a patriarchal society anymore. So everyone, please welcome my Scream Queens. Hey guys.
Hello, Ryan.
Me? Little old me?
Build top billing. So
I am so very flattered.
it's like the Cruel Intentions poster with Sarah Michelle Gellar's name like lower but first and Ryan Phillippe's name higher but second. That's how I feel about you guys.
Am I Ryan Phillippe?
I'm up higher, but second? Okay.
Where am I bottoming? I just need direction. Just tell me what I'm doing.
Bottoming and Cruel Intentions. Interesting. So, are you guys fans of Cruel Intentions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like a mega fan, but I mean, it's good. Yeah.
All right. So we know you
Yeah.
guys are like Neve's fans. Like, were you also a fan of like Sarah Michelle Gellar? Do you guys watch Buffy?
Yeah, I watched Buffy back in the day, and it was fun kind of to watch the rise because, Scream and stuff came out first. Then I Know What You Did Last Summer. I feel like Buffy came out maybe a year after Scream. And then, that took on its own path. And, so there was like Party of Five on Wednesdays and Buffy on maybe Tuesdays or whatever day that came on. So it was fun having both those shows back in the late 90s, especially as like a young tween.
Yeah.
My God, yeah. She was like hot as fuck, flexible, limber. She was like this little gymnastics, little queen, but she had like fierce attitude, telling off like everybody in Sunnydale, right? Like, what's going on? Where is she from?
Yep.
It's like
Sunnydale.
it's been years.
Yeah.
Watched it.
It wasn't originally from Sunnydale, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a while since the origin story has presented itself to me, but nonetheless, yeah, no, definitely a fan of Buffy and I remember the name Xander so well because I felt like as like I work in the education field that like there were just so many children that were spawned after that as like, their parents were fans of the show.
That's fun. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm just so jealous of you guys and like people like you who were watching Scream, watching Party of Five, watching things like Buffy and living this culture. I would have done anything to have been born just like 10 years, before just to like kind of live the moment like you guys got to.
It was a time to be alive. I snuck into Wild Things when I was 14 years old with my 12-year-old best friend next door neighbor. So it's like all that like era of like Nev and Buff, Sarah Michelle. It was a good time.
I just want to read from the chat here. Carrie, because Carrie says this to me all the time. She says that she was the WB's bitch back in the day. And I respect that. Oh my gosh.
Yes. The WB.
Such appointment television, if people can remember that phrase.
Yeah.
And Brittany says, Ryan, you're a true millennial with us. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. So my boss with today, we were talking about like millennials versus Gen Z, and she brought it up, not me, and she was like, she assigned me like the Gen Z, and we were talking about my sister and being like, I'm sorry, she assigned me the millennial and my sister the Gen Z because she has kids similar ages, and we're just talking about patterns. So it's just fun. I appreciate the label as a millennial. But Josh
I
and
feel like you're a zennial, like kind of of a Gen Z and millennial.
Don't troll me. I will eject you from the call. Josh, and Justine, I wanted to bring it up with you guys too. I'm so excited that Neve Campbell gets to come back and have a show on Netflix in the same month as Scream 7, just 2 or 3 weeks before the release of Scream 7. People who would be watching her on Netflix could see the promo for Scream 7 and be like, hey, I want to go to that. Isn't that just so awesome?
Yeah, that's what I had in my notes today. Talk about was what a great February and what a great 2026. She's going to have 2 Netflix shows in 2026.
Mhm.
But Lincoln Lawyer always hits number 1,
Mhm.
stays in that number 1 spot for weeks. So it's like a
Yeah.
huge juggernaut for Netflix, and people forget that when people, like to dog on Nev. I'm like, "She's on one of the biggest shows on Netflix." So that's exciting that she'll have that. So February is gonna be such a fun month for, like, seeing her on talk shows and podcasts and all those things I have to wait a couple years in between to hear her on. So I'm really excited for that. And I'm excited that later we get Black Doves with Keira Knightley and Ben Whishaw, who
Mhm.
are 2 amazing British actors, and I love both of them, so I'm excited for what's next.
Justine?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I mean, she's got like a lot of things lined up in 2026, and we've got 30 years to celebrate having Scream and, how impactful it's been for all of us. And I'm sure just like the whole year, she's going to be celebrated. She is
Mm,
the final queen dream.
yeah.
And
And
we're going back to our horror con in May that we go to every year, and they've already announced Matt and Skeet, and I'm hoping we get a Nev announcement. It'll be our 4th time getting to meet her, if that's the case, and I'm really hoping we get that announcement.
I am afraid that she's not gonna do conventions until this little run of Scream is over.
Well, it's in May, like, end of May, so I'm hoping maybe, like, if it comes out, we get good positive reaction, maybe some of the, like, Melissa, versus Nev hate has kind of subsided that yeah, I'm hoping maybe she'll sign on and do it.
Well, I hope so. Because I went to the convention with Carrie, the '90s con, and she was supposed to be there. And part of the reason I was like so like I signed on was to meet her, and it was okay that she wasn't there. But I hope one day to meet her in person. I met with her over Zoom. Did you guys do that? Do you remember there was like a
We
fundraiser, but
Yeah, we did the group, like, where we came in and watched everybody, but I was almost too nervous to do, like, a one-on-one Zoom. I don't know why, like, because 'cause we've met her face to face, but something almost feels more intimate just to be, like, one-on-one, no, like, people behind you in a massive line waiting to talk to her, things like that.
it was unlike anything, and, like, it was set for, like, 30 seconds timer, so she had to keep hitting, like, 30 seconds more, 30 seconds more, and every time her hand went up, I kinda got more nervous and more nervous, I remember my sister was there, she jumped in at the very end and said, "Hi, I'm Abby, I love you and Scream."
Aw.
And then after we hung up, I literally burst into tears. That was the first time I had met, like, someone famous, and I was just, like famous of that caliber, and I was just like, so
And she's always so sweet and personable and really tries to give you as much time as she can.
mhm.
So, because her line's, like, out the door, and she's there from the time the line opens until sometimes after the convention's even closed, her, Skeet, and Matthew will stay until they can finish their lines, and they're all like, the whole Screamcast are great at conventions.
We brought my Scream 3 poster, my big, theatrical 27 by 40 poster, down to the basement whenever, that night all those years ago. And the first thing she said to me is, "Oh my gosh, I love your poster. Me, Ryan C. Showers, Scream, Mr. Scream 3." So, anyways,
Awesome.
yeah. Justine, how about you? What's on your mind?
Oh, no, it's just like a tremendous treat to get to have any kind of interaction with her. And I just kind of hold each moment close to my heart because I find her to be an incredibly genuine human being who is, always immensely grateful for what's all happened out of Scream. She just always is very kind and generous with her time, and then also just like very lovely to chat with, and she's like an active listener, so you just like feel like when you're talking to her, like she's like, okay, like for these like 3 minutes that you're standing here in front of me, you're the only person that's here, and I'm going to hear everything that you have to say and then make affirming comments. Like it's just really lovely to chat with her and feel like, as somebody who like I hold her in such high esteem and in regard. She is like just kind of the epitome of like a power female to me. So it's very inspiring to be in her company and just like get to have interactions with her. So I'm really looking forward to maybe the potential of having another one in 2026. But just because I love the woman, I'm so excited for the year ahead for her.
Well, so I'm so glad that you mentioned how big of a hit The Lincoln Lawyer is on Netflix, Josh, because it's so true. And like the people who say like that Nev didn't have success outside of Scream. Like they're crazy. She was in House of Cards. She was in 2 seasons of House of Cards, which was also like the Netflix show for years. It was like the Emmy show for years. Like, and she was on a series regular with Robin Wright, for 2
Yeah.
seasons. Like, she Party of Five. There are so many things that she's done, and I love that she has found success in the streaming era. Like, that's so cool. I just think it's awesome, and I will definitely be watching The Lincoln Lawyer again now that she's back.
Yeah, same. I did kind of skip most of last season.
Yeah.
Glad she's back. And you know what? And they always kind of like they do with Scream on Netflix. It's her face in most of the promos when it's on. So she is still a big draw to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think there's something comforting about her. And I loved the photo that Netflix released of her for
Yeah.
season 4. She looked so pretty and so youthful, and she was just glowing and warm. I was just like, when was this picture taken? Like 2015? Was this a Scream 4 picture?
And we all truly like want her to be involved in these like Lincoln Lawyer. I remember Josh and I asking her about if she would be in the next season, and
That's right.
like, and in Twisted Metal, and like, so
Twisted Metal's oh, yeah.
and she's candid about, like the why she won't, or, if she'd like to be in something. And so I love like her honest approach to things, if it's talking to us, or if it's in like in an interview with anybody. Like she wants to be in things because she wants to be in them, but she knows her worth. And so she'll come back when, or I'm just assuming that's how she thinks, but like, so she'll come back when either like the producer see all of that. I mean, we're always screaming and yelling for her, so the people want her.
The people want to know. They have a right to know.
Yeah.
They have a right to.
And it was funny for like a full year being trolled on Twitter because we had posted that news that she wasn't going to be on Twisted Metal, and it kept getting shared. And people were like, I don't know. I think they're making it up. Yahoo News even quoted us, and it said like, unsubstantiated. I'm like, just wait and see. And then when it came out, I was like, so was she on it, guys? No.
Was this substantiated?
Yeah.
Justine, you're so right. And I just like, I've been gushing about Neve Campbell, for the past 5 years on this podcast, but like, what you said about her just now is like, she is like the least petty, least selfish, least like pretentious person. I think that I remember you guys got the scoop about Scream 6 too. So a little known fact, I actually knew that she wasn't coming back for Scream 6 like in March. I was told that, and like by 2 different people. I was like, oh no, it's really true. And then you guys found out from the horse's mouth at the convention. You guys found out about, I think, Lincoln Lawyer too, right? And Twisted Metal. Like, all of that is so crazy, like, that she's just genuine, and, like, that's kind of how the news broke about her in Scream 6. Was like, it didn't come from the studio, it didn't really come from her. It started kinda trickling out because people were asking her at the conventions, and then she made her statement. But I just find, to me, I think it just says a lot about her character, as a professional and a business person, and I really, really respect it.
Yeah,
So
same.
I do. I agree, because I think that she has an understanding of that she can control her narrative, and so she does. And
she does.
she owns like every bit of what she does, and it's she's such a great model for anyone who is going in the industry to know your worth, and know that, like, yeah, of course you're always going to run into like these industry heads that are huge, they're ginormous, but like if you have like a fan base, it sometimes won't really matter necessarily what they think, as long as like people love you, want to see you in things. Like, will if you build it, they will come, right? So like I feel like that's her mentality, is she just manifests. She's the queen of manifesting.
yeah. And again, you want to talk about learning lessons. Like, I think, no greater lesson should be than to stick to your gut and what feels right to you, as opposed to, just think about this, imagine all of the receipts coming in for Scream 6, and all the money it was making. And yet somehow it worked out that Neve Campbell she did the right thing in her heart, which was to not be in Scream 6. And somehow she gets to be the lead of Scream 7. Just things work out in magical ways for people who stand by what's right for them. And I think that's a really good lesson that she set there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So excited we're getting a Sydney-centered Scream again.
Well, Guys, any final thoughts? And please tell everybody where they can find your horror road trip podcast.
Yeah, you can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts and Scream Queens Horror Road Trip Podcast. We're on all the socials pretty much under the same name. Twitter,
Mhm.
we're like podcast_queens. And yeah, come join us. We have lots of fun on the road and talk about movies and travel.
And we actually established where we started a new little series on Scream with Rancy Showers, me, Josh, and Justine. By accident, it just kind of came to be. We are going to be like comparing the finales. So we did like 1 versus 2. We just came on, we were going to talk about the finales, and like I was going to put like you guys in the episode with Josh and Bria on Tuesday. And then we started talking. I was like, no, this is great. This could be its own episode. So, and we're going to do 3 and 4. And I guess we'll do 5 and 6. But yeah.
They have to be done.
But no, so thank you guys. Justine, any final thoughts?
I'm very appreciative of this like community. It's always fun to come on here or to be with you, Ryan, and just chat about to chat about Neve Campbell, like first and foremost, and then to chat about Scream and then to chat about just other horror movies. And I appreciate the community. I'm really happy we made it another year. So happy holidays and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, all of that. It's just happy to be here rocking the world with everybody.
Well, I just want to share. So, listeners, if you haven't listened to the episode, forget the number, maybe 272, it's Josh and Justine are on, and they talk about seeing the Scream 7 trailer for the first time. And they actually watched the 7 trailer in this, at work on like a projected screen. So, I have to ask, when we get the second trailer, which is coming in January sometime, will you guys recreate that?
Oh, yeah, I'll be calling Dusty in the office saying, get down to my classroom.
I guess it might depend on like when it gets dropped, but like if we're there, then I'll just be like, well, you're on break. Let's make this happen.
Awesome. So, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Need to go down to my friend now, Josh. Honey. Hey, Josh. Other Josh. Is he there?
How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm okay. I'm doing just meal prepping and shit like that.
Nice. Nice. Well, it's nice to see you.
You too, honey, as always.
So I have to ask, what are Josh's holiday traditions as it pertains to pop culture? Is there Buffy? Is there Queer as Folk?
How do you don't even get me started. Botox, Botox, Botox. I got laser and Botox. That's my Christmas present to myself. That's what my holiday. Sorry.
Massive respect. I think that's very cool.
Thanks.
Do you I wanted to ask because you are a big Buffy fan from our previous conversations, right?
Can I tell you something? This is gonna make this whole fandom moist as fuck. Are you ready? Because I'm gonna show you this to you, and I'm so excited. So God, gay men never do this, but I was born in 1981, February. My birthday comes out Scream 7.
Mhm.
Anyway, so I think you were talking with that Josh and Justine about the WB. So I was like an Oscar bitch, like a Scream, like Party of 5 girl, like all that. I got a Cape Route at 12 just to support my magazine habit. I fucking loved it. So I wanted to bring this out from 2004. Hello.
We all know what that is. Oh my gosh.
This is literally from 2004. I have so many magazines from like the early ones. Then this one, when you guys were talking about the WB, this is from 1998. This is my favorite. The women of the WB. You've got them
OMG.
all. Dawson's Creek, everything. Buffy. I don't know who else is on here. Charmed with Shannon Doherty, Annalisa Milano, Felicity, all this. And then I found this. Scream 4, Entertainment Weekly from 2011. Like,
I
this is
love
from
that
2011.
one. Isn't that so sweet? I love that photo. That is one of my favorite photo shoots of the trio. 'Cause-
And you see this one from 2011. It's when they reunited all the cast and stuff. And I
Yeah.
remember buying that, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna show that." And then this is just for us, honey, Queer as Folk from 2000. This
Yeah,
is
well-
from 2000 when it came out. And then my
That's
last
sexy.
this is for Josh and Justine. This is Cruel Intentions from Premiere Magazine from
Love it.
1999.
Stan it. I love it. Those are awesome. You've shown me magazines before. There was a recording you and me and Ashley did a couple months ago, and you had a bunch of things that you showed us, and I was just like, oh, so cool. I kind of hoped that you were going to bring them tonight, so I was happy to
Hey,
see
have
that.
you read this book? I bought this
have.
book. So I found this, and then I found this magazine that I bought from Entertainment Weekly. Have you seen this one?
Fuck yeah, I love that. Ugh.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all. I just wanted to show. Oh, look, honey, look. I think this is from Scream 3. I think.
Scream 2, but it's a beautiful picture.
Here.
Josh is like, whatever. So that first magazine, Buffy is Back, was that circa Sarah Michelle Gellar being in The Grudge?
Honey, don't get me started. Of course, that's what I was talking about, her brand new movie. And then I also have the magazine where she, on Entertainment Weekly, because I was obsessed with Entertainment Weekly, where she said that she wasn't going to do a season 8.
Buffy quits. Yes, I remember.
Oh, honey, I have that one. Oh, honey, I'll bring out my scrapbooks from the late 90s, early 2000s. That's got some Party of Five shit, some Buffy shit. Oh, that's where the real. Honey, do you remember the Women of Scream 2? That one, the iconic one? Cut it out. I have the original. I'm not kidding on you. I'm telling you the truth.
That is one of the greatest photo shoots of all time, in my opinion. I think that is so sexy. So I have to ask. So speaking of Party of Five, this may be a controversial opinion, but like, so I'm watching Party of Five in Dawson's Creek for the first time, or I'm trying to. Ask Carrie, and I have like the biggest crush on Charlie, aka Matthew Fox. It's really bad. Like I'm just like whenever he comes on, like this show is like 30 years old, and I am acting like he is like a guy. I'm in high school, and he's like the cute senior walking by, and I'm just obsessed with him, and I just start melting, and butterflies get in my stomach.
Well, that's cute. I'm a Bailey and Sarah stan myself. God, Jennifer Love Hewitt was so good. I loved her. Remember when she fucking left and went and did Time of Your Life?
Yeah.
What that was. And then they got canceled. They didn't even bring her back for the finale. Oh, I was so pissed about that.
I didn't know that, so that's a spoiler, but that's fine. I don't mind. I'm not
Oh,
like Ashley.
sorry.
I'm good with spoilers. I just think it's cool that Jennifer Love Hewitt was in the same show as Neve. Like I think it's just so fun to see her around the time of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic.
So Josh, you never got to talk about I Know What You Did Last Summer, the requel that came out. We've texted about it, but you never got to talk about it on the show.
It was awful. It was a waste of time, and I don't know why they did it. I'm the biggest Sarah Michelle Gellar stan, but I was like, honey, I don't even get that. I don't know, honey. It was trash. I'm not even. No, I wasn't a fan of it. I was just like, why? Not everything needs to be rebooted. Not everything needs to be remade. Not everything needs a sequel. If you're gonna bring back Scream 8, honey, if it better be good, because if it's trash like Scream 6, then no thanks. Just keep it, honey. Just keep where it is.
Well,
Sorry.
we're starting a petition for Gail Harold to be Courtney Cox's love interest in
Oh,
Scream 8.
Can I say something? And I need to tell you this.
Yeah.
So a couple of months ago, you had a Zoom when you were talking about the Scream 3 trailer, and we came on here. And I was the only one that was kind of like, it's not really like, and all of you were so kind. And I was like, I got off that Zoom and I thought, you know what? I said, I think I'm going to leave this Patreon group.
No.
I said, I've told you this before, and I really felt that I was like, I don't think I fit in here. Like, honey, I'm not a Swiftie at all. And shout out to Ashley, my other girl from Canada, who I love. And I really love her attitude of I don't care and stuff like that. But it was like, when you talk about Taylor Swift, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. I'm not a Swiftie. I don't hate the girl. Shout out to whoever loves her. I have a niece who's 8 who loves her. I've heard, Shake It Off and, Romeo and Juliet and all that stuff. And I was like, I don't fit in here. Like, I'm not really super tight with anyone, all that. And then I started listening to some of the episodes back and I was like, wow, you've created a really safe space for people to like. That's what I just want to say. Like, you've created a really safe space for people to like, who are like me, who are like, I'm not really a big Scream person. Like, 3/4 of the shit that you guys are talking about, I have no idea what you're saying. Like, I've seen the originals. Like, I was almost 17 when the first one came out, but it was like, it's just nice to create. And like, I like got such a hard on for what Ashley said about like, you don't have to like Taylor Swift, and that's okay, but don't shit on me because I do.
Yeah.
And that's just like, anyways, I just wanted to say, like, I'm just really happy that you created it. And it makes me want to say, even though like I have like really I have no idea what you guys are talking about half the time. But like it just like I said, just creating a safe space where you can say, I don't like Scream 6. And shout out to like all the people that do like Scream 6. I don't get it, but good for you.
The 2 of them in the picture, the 2 out of 120.
Yeah, honey, but you know what? That's great. And shout out to like liking, liking Taylor Swift. I don't really get it at all.
Josh, I couldn't imagine. I would be so sad if you weren't in the Patreon. Like you've made every single. I've been watching the faces as you've been talking. You've made every single person on this Zoom laugh their asses off.
Yeah, honey, that's fine. But I mean, I'm talking about like real shit. Like shout out to honey. This is at 2025. Let's give some shout outs. Shout outs to Jess Melendez, who I could hear read the phone book and I'd still be happy. Shout out to my Canada girl, Ashley, for her I don't give a fuck attitude. Love you, honey, and I appreciate that. I want to give a special shout out to all these people who know all this shit and are like, just make it a really safe space for people to like just share their opinion and be like, okay, we don't agree, but that's fine. And that's a big
But
thing.
can I give you a shout out? Like, you have made me nicer and more open-minded to Mindy in Scream 7 after Scream 6, 'cause I have been really harsh on her and how she was written in Scream 6, and you made me, like, more excited for her and more open-minded to her, and, like, there's an episode you and I did, like, in, like, September about, like, Mindy and Gale, and it made me so excited for them. So, I mean, like, you have no idea how much, like, you say you're not a Scream person, but you were able to change my mind about Mindy, and I am the Scream person. I live and breathe Scream. Literally, I've been performing a script about being these characters, and you changed my mind. You've moved me in a different direction than where I was naturally going. So, I mean, don't sell yourself short. I'm so glad that you loved Mindy and you have like a passionate defense of her and that you love Gail. And like, I would be so sad to not have that and not have that perspective. So don't sell yourself short. You do fit in here. We all love you. And I am so happy that you joined the Patreon and you, again, you never fail to make me laugh. Like you say things that I wish I as the public facing person could say. And I
Well,
will
I'm 45, and at 45, you just don't give a shit anymore. And shout out to anyone who's in their mid 40s. You just don't care. Like, honey, there was something on Twitter where someone was like being mean to you, and I stood up and I said something. They were like, and I was just like, oh, go fuck yourself. Like, I don't have time for this shit.
Yeah. The people like I mean, I don't really fuck with Twitter as much. I mean, I still post there, I still engage, and I still scroll sometimes, but like, the amount of energy that these people put into things, it's like thank you for helping promote both Scream 7 and my podcast. That's what I say. But no, Josh, you are so amazing. And you know, I love that there is clearly something, the sign from the universe, that your birthday coincides with Scream 7, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it and about Mindy and about Gail and just how we moved forward after the mess of Scream 6. And I just love the way that you kind of like also I love the way you shit on Scream 6. I'm sorry, it makes me so happy. Oh, and he's gone. He left. He literally left. Wow. I'm sure this was just a service issue. All right. I will. Oh, there he is. iPhone 11. There he is. Really, you were serious about leaving, weren't you?
No, honey. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. My fucking connection on my thing. Sorry. Oh my God. I totally just fucked up your meeting.
No,
Anyways,
you didn't. It was good.
sorry, honey. I came back. Sorry. God, my face is so red from laser. Oh God. Anyways, honey, I just really wanted to get on here and say that. And can I just say a couple other things? Am I too
Yeah,
long? Honey,
go
can
for it.
I, and I can't see him anymore, which pisses me off. I want to give a shout out to Lucas, who I absolutely fell in love with. He's the cutest. Shout out to Bray and him. I really appreciate him. He's always been so nice. And honey, I'm telling you this, and I know it has nothing to do with anything. You need to get into Heated Rivalry. It is literally the best show ever. And
Yeah.
like Lucas, honey, I can't see you, but I nicknamed you my Heated Rivalry husband because I message him every Friday and we gossip about it. Honey, it is literally the best show and everyone needs to watch it.
Glad we're
Platform is
married.
it on? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Lucas.
I said I'm glad we're married and our love for Heated Rivalry is so good.
Honey, can I tell you something? I absolutely love you, and your skin is great too.
Ah,
You were so nice. You always reach out nice and all this. Anyways, I just wanted to say that to you.
we loved you too, Josh. You're amazing.
Thanks, honey. You're so cute. And honey, I will be messaging you either Friday night or Saturday morning.
What platform is Heated Rivalry on? Where can I watch it?
HBO Max, honey. And listen, I would never be so presumptuous to invite myself onto one of your shows because that's your thing. But if you ever did one on Heated Rivalry, I'm coming on to talk about it because there's so much to talk about.
All right. Well, you know, this show has been buzzing. So many people have brought it up to me. You texted me about it last week. I need to see what this is about. And I'm sure I would get into it based off of like the.
Oh,
just,
honey, don't even
yeah.
do that. And last thing, honey, I just want to give a thorn this year. Like I said, I'm not really big into what mostly you are, but I really like Wicked for Good. And I don't understand all the
Oh,
hate that it's getting. Like,
no.
I really don't, honey. It wasn't nominated for Best Picture in the Golden Globes.
No.
Ariana was the front runner, and now she's not. Although, shout out, Amy Madigan could win only 4 horror movies for people like maybe Neve Campbell could be nominated one day if Amy Madigan did win. I
Yeah.
just don't think I think all of this, like I said, honey, I live in Vancouver, like on the west coast of Canada. Shout out Ashley, she knows where that is. But like I've never seen Wicked like on Broadway, and I've never like I like Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, but yeah, honey, all the hate that Wicked for Good is getting, I don't understand it because like I'm not even a Wicked person, and I really like that movie.
This made my night. Oh my God.
Said talk about Wicked, I was like, God, I just needed to give you everyone their flowers in this community and say that.
Well, I mean, this is a very Wicked friendly show and community, and like within like the Patreon, but also like just like I mean, I like Wicked, so I'm gonna make it a part of the podcast, whether people like it or not. I mean, like but so I'm so glad to hear you say that. And like, there is like this weird smear campaign by like these snobby like film critics against Wicked, and I don't understand it. I don't understand the vitriolic anger about it. I think like sometimes they just don't like movies that the general public sees. And like, I still think Ariana can win. I really do. Give it time. Stranger things have happened. I think that she could still win. I think her or Amy Madigan. I don't think that the other girls, the other women are going to. Just we'll see. We'll see. It could be good.
Honey,
But
can I be honest? Like you're an Oscar person. Oh, my Botox does look good. Look, honey, there's no lines right here. Anyways, it's my first time noticing it. Anyways, honey, but like we're Oscar people. Like, have you been seeing lately? She's not even in the top 5 to even be nominated right now, which I don't fucking understand.
I mean, she's gonna be nominated. Like, there's no
I
way
hope
she's
so.
not.
Do you think Cynthia will be nominated, honey?
You know what? If she isn't, I'm going to no. I am
Oh,
going to be so angry because like it's so unnecessary. She should be nominated. I think she's better in this movie as an actress than she is than the first movie. I would be really sad if she isn't. But I think Ariana is in. I think Cynthia's on the bubble, but I think they can both squeak by. I mean, there's still a long way to go. We haven't gotten the British Academy Awards. We haven't gotten the Screen
the
Actors
set.
Guild. Yeah.
I know, honey. Anyways, sorry, I don't want to take up your whole fucking night. Oh my God, people are
No,
like, we have a fucking life here. Shut the hell up.
No, but like I think that so the industry really, really liked Wicked, the first movie, and I think that like they're going to like this one. I have a feeling. I think it overperformed with Oscar nominations last year. I think it's going to happen again. I really, really do. And that we can say fuck off to all the people who have been smearing the movie for no goddamn reason. It's a beautiful movie. It's just as good as the first one. And buzz off is what I say to the people who are trying to tear it down for no reason, just to be mean, just because it's a popular movie, just because it's a mainstream movie. It's still a beautiful movie. And if you didn't cry, you're soulless. So
Honey, shout out to Jonathan Bailey because he doesn't get nearly the amount of love that he deserves. Like, he's like a total like queen, but he played really great in that. He was good, honey. I loved him. Fellow Travelers, have you seen that?
I have. I love Fellow Travelers.
Oh
Yeah.
God, honey, that made me feel like a new woman. God, honey, I love that.
The memes of like what's his name? Who is the lead in Fellow
That
Travelers with
moment
him?
when he's sticking his foot in his mouth or smelling his ass or like his balls or whatever. Honey. Oh God.
Well,
Oh,
the
honey, can I tell you something? And Lucas, give me a shout out here. You will love Heated Rivalry, honey. It is like Queer as Folk for the tweets. Oh God, honey, don't. We can talk about anyways.
well, I will add Heated Rivalry to my agenda. My boyfriend will probably really enjoy it, so that will give us something to do. So we're not just watching the same
Your boyfriend are
James.
gonna have some you connect the dots time after that. Wow.
So Brent loves James Bond, and there's like he on Pluto, which is like a free kind of streaming service. There's like a James Bond channel, and it's only available in November and December. So we have been watching James Bond nonstop since November 1st.
Honey, I'm sorry about that.
I like James Bond. I enjoy it. I enjoy the formula, but like and also, frankly, I enjoy Pierce Brosnan. I enjoy Daniel Craig, and I enjoy all of the hot men who have played James Bond. So, but I'm ready to put him away for another 10 months. I'm good. I've got my
Oh.
James Bond fill.
Honey, do you like the Alien movies?
Love them.
Honey, like let's go there. Like that, please. This fuck thing, honey. Yeah, honey. I don't want to take up your whole night.
Well,
I love talking to you, honey. You make me happy in all the right places, and so does this community. Like I said, shout out to everyone. I just
well,
picked. Yeah. Anyways, whatever. Honey.
we should do an episode on Alien. I've done episodes on Alien before. I should send you the number just so you can
Oh,
listen
honey,
to 'em.
send it to me. You know I'll be listening. Honey, did you love Alien Resurrection?
I love Alien Resurrection.
If anyone doesn't know this, I am the Winona Ryder's #1 fan. I've been in love with her since 1989. I everything to do with her, all her biographies. When she was called, like I fucking loved it. And that movie got trashed. It made fucking $170 million worldwide in 97. That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. Let's talk about Alien Resurrection. Seriously, you and me, we'll do it like in the next couple weeks. I love that movie and I'd love to talk about it.
Oh, honey, let's get going, honey. I'm there. You name the time and the place, honey. You know I'm there for you.
Okay, cool.
Honey, I love you.
I love you too. Thank you for coming.
Everyone, I love all of you, even though half of you I don't even talk to you. And Lucas, be prepared, honey, on Saturday. Bye, honey. I love you.
Bye, Josh. Thank you. Wow. That was a rush. Josh always brings like momentum as we go into like act 3 of the podcast. Thank you, Josh. All right. Let's go over now to my friend Brett. Josh brought up Wicked. We're going to go there. So, Brett, tell me everything about
I
Wicked.
I loved the new movie so damn freaking much. You have no idea what happened when I first saw the movie in theaters.
Please tell me.
Let's just say that when I went into the movie with my mom, I was there with my mom, I wore my Wicked shirt, I had my freaking cardigan sweater on. It's Wicked themed. I got it from Cardigan Department, $75. They don't even have them anymore. They're sold out already. But got that, wore that, took my Build-A to my 2 Build-A-Bears. I bought out all the the AMC merch.
Yeah.
I was shaking. Like, I was literally freaking shaking. I was sad, I was depressed, I was happy. I was feeling so emotional watching this whole movie, and I felt like I really wanted to freaking, like, pass out and faint. And I was when the whole thing was over, we got our free snow globe, and went home, and I was still freaking crying nonstop. I could not stop crying. I could not stop shaking. This film, it hit my heart really, really. It hit the heart so much. As the whole premise of Alphabet being outcasted and everything brought up a lot of past that I went through with that. It's probably why I was so feeling every single thing at once.
Well, so I love that because my sister and I also bought out AMC. We bought the popcorn buckets, the cups. Abby literally uses her cup every single day. I got 2 for me, 2 for her. She uses her cups every single day, and that just makes me so happy. Like Wicked has bonded us as siblings, like in the same way that Scream has. And like I can't wait to have like the second movie to come out on like streaming so that we can watch it like we do
Me
Scream like
too.
back to back.
And I also have a surprise as well. Let's just say I went even more overboard on
Oh
eBay.
no!
So much
Oh,
stuff.
well, you are.
I have the music box, the light up steps. I bought out a lot of the stuff. They were sold out of this on AMC, so I literally had to do this on eBay. So I only got that one from AMC, that 10, these 2, and this. But the rest of this is all from eBay.
Wow. So Abby wanted that Emerald City one that you showed. So I'm
Oh,
very lucky that you got all that. And
I could try to find her I could try to find a cheap one on eBay if you guys ever want like something like that. I can keep looking on eBay if it's really, really cheap, like in you guys' budget. Like I'll send you a link for it. I've been doing that a lot with people.
well, thank you. I love your pure love for Wicked. I think you're probably one of the biggest Wicked fans in the Patreon. I really do.
I have been a fan of Wicked since I was elementary school is when I saw a billboard for it. Like I was going out of town with my aunt CJ. There was a billboard for it in Indiana, like close to Indiana a little bit. I'm like, oh, this kind of seems interesting. So I saw a little bit of like some small clips of it on YouTube. And then I listened to the soundtrack in freaking junior high. I even saw the stage play of the 2003 version with Idina Menzel and Christian Chenoweth. Loved it ever since. I've been a fan ever since. And when the movie was being in production, I'm like, finally. I had high hope. I had some high hopes, but then when they announced Ariana Grande and Cynthia, I'm like, am I sure they're gonna be good? Like I had little low expectations, but when I saw the movie, I ended up falling in love with it.
All right. Can I give you a little quiz, like a little speed round of Wicked?
Yes.
All right. So, do we prefer favorite character, Elphaba or Glenda?
Elphaba.
Okay. Do we prefer The Wizard and I or No Good Deed?
No Good Deed.
Okay. Do we prefer The Girl in the Bubble or No Place Like Home?
I'm gonna have to say No Place Like Home.
And do we prefer Defying Gravity or For Good?
Defying Gravity.
Okay, love it. This was the first. I literally just made this up on the spot. So there we go. So I'm sure you've seen Brent. Adam Morble.
Wicked Witch flipping around.
My sister is obsessed with there was a morning I woke up to 10 fucking TikToks of Michelle Yeoh's from Abby. I'm
Oh
like,
God.
Abby, go to sleep. Like, Jesus. But
No, it's a little mean because no, people are using other things and they're like, I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna die out sooner or later. It hasn't died out.
yeah. Well, Brett, anything you want to share about Scream 7?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. With the whole Ice 9 kills. When I first saw that, I'm like, I have to post this in the group chat so everybody freaking knows that they're freaking gonna be in it. Well,
Yeah.
not in it, but whatever song they're doing. Because they did this, they also did a song with Terrifier 3 and amazing. Freaking amazing. I cannot wait to see what they're gonna do with Scream 7. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing Sidney. I'm looking forward for the new trailer that's supposed to come out at some point. I hope they know when we're gonna get that one. And the poster even had, and I like I did say, I did spend $44 on the poster altogether because I couldn't find one. Because when I tried finding one on Whatnot, someone bidded that up to $88. I ain't spending $88 for that. Like, no. That's too much.
Well, I'm excited. I just want to say, Brett, thank you for always just being like a ray of light in the Scream with Ryan Showers corner of the world. I love your excitement, and you go along with all my crazy shit, whether that's all my Scream shit, all my Wicked shit, all my Taylor Swift
I
shit.
love it all. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
thank.
And I'm actually really glad I did find this podcast. Like out of every single other group that I've ever been in, this one by far is the ultimate group I've ever
Aw.
been a part of, and I love it so much because I have so many amazing friends. I don't have a whole lot of friends in real life, so I do have a haunt family, but we don't talk like that. I do have a real best friend that I do talk to, but screaming all that and all this, like I really generally love your podcast. I love everything that you do. It's amazing. And to all the haters who still get on your ass, I will defend you to the end of time. I will do that with any of y'all.
Thank you. Well, the haters, in my opinion, they are long gone. We have,
Good.
as Taylor Swift said in long story short, she said, long story
Yeah,
short,
so
we survived. So, but no, I thank you, Brett, for saying that, and I'm happy that you found friends and a community and just shared, interests, people who love the same things you love with the
oh yeah,
podcast.
I'm also wearing this too.
Nice, I
It's a
love it.
lock. It's a locket. My best friend has the other locket, but in the inside it clearly says this one says "wickedly brave." The other one, she has the Glenda one, and it says "find your courage."
Aw.
And I'm just like, because I'm like, girl, that's kind of you because with your accent, with your boyfriend and all that, you need to find your courage.
Oh my god. Well, Brett, thank you so much. Please tell everybody where they can find you online.
You can find me on Facebook, Brett Allen Janovich, and you can find me on Instagram, Angel Allen J, and you can find me on Twitter, Scream4.
Thank you, Brett.
You're welcome.
And to round out, the one and only. Not I was gonna say like my podcast spouse because like, I feel like I'm just like I feel like you're like an appendage of me now, but like that would be weird because I'm
I'll
gay.
take it.
Okay, well we can be
Like it.
married. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'll tell Garrett.
Oh my
Hi,
gosh.
everybody. Oh, this was so fun. I love listening to everybody, just having this. And now I'm gonna go watch Heated Rivalry because I mean I'm a hockey girl, so it was already on my list. And then now, like my one friend has been like, "Have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet?" Every day texting me, "Have you watched it yet?" And I'm like, "I haven't. Calm down." But now I will because like Canadian, like a lot of like Canadian production like went into making it. So I was like, I gotta support the Canadian arts of these two beautiful gay hockey players because what more do you want?
I feel like it's also just a show you would watch. I don't know. I feel like you have a good grasp on pop culture, and I feel like this is just an Ashley thing, just checking it off.
Yeah, I've got to watch it. Like I can see all my hockey jerseys hanging, so it's kind of sad that I haven't watched it yet.
Well, so Ash, what would you like to share? I know like we literally recorded for like 2 hours today, but like, what would you like to share for the
Um,
holiday spirit?
I just want to say, kind of reiterate what everybody's saying that I really love this group. I am always touched when people um, like comment or like we're chatting about something important to us or people reach out because they know I like something and they're like, "Hey, I think you would," like they share a meme or like Carrie helped me get to watch Freakier Friday earlier than I could have because I didn't get to go to it in like the theaters and just like this community is so sweet and so kind and I really love it. And I know, like, everybody said it, but I really do wish we could all watch it together. I mean, you'd all have to come up to Canada because there's no way I'm getting into the country. But I am so excited for Scream 7. If I could host you all at my new house, I would, because we can walk to the movie theater from there. I mean, maybe not today because it was minus like 22 and there was an 80 car pileup on the highway. Woohoo! From the snow. So we might not want to do it on one of those days, but I'm just looking forward to seeing what everybody has to say. And same with what Josh said, that I love how people kind of are free to like have their own opinion on what's going on. And we all have our favorite moments in all these different movies. And I just feel like we support each other. And I just like really love this group. I love listening to other people's like I kind of am like a secret listener and watcher of everybody's goings on. I like I'll be like listening to like Josh and Justine's podcast, or I'll be listening to Jacob's podcast, but like I don't really like to say like, "Oh, I'm listening to your podcast," because I feel like a dork, but I do. And everybody's so great and I love the community so much. And I wish I feel like that girl in Mean Girls that's like, I want to give everybody a hug. And then the guy's like, she doesn't even go here. That's how I feel right now. But I love you
Well,
all, and maybe I'll try watching Wicked again after that heartfelt comment from beautiful Brett.
well, listener, I think this made the final cut. We talked about Wicked, and I said, Ashley, you should watch For Good because I think you'd like it more than the first one. And Ashley said, well, you know what? You know what it was, Ryan? It was the goat. It was this. It was the meanness to Dr. Dillman. That's what was the blockade of Ashley not getting into the first one because Ashley, loves animals. So, I think that there's justice for. I think that you can have some justice for the second part. With Ashley, I'm always like second guessing myself. What can I say? What can I not say about spoilers? Like literally, I'll be like, Ashley, this is kind of spoilers, but not really. And whenever I'm telling her something, we were talking about like Glenda. Like there's like that TikTok, the video on social media saying how Glenda is the real villain of the Wizard of Oz. And I said, Ashley, this isn't a spoiler because this is what people say, but you're kind of like Glenda and Wicked. And like it was funny. And Ashley's like, no, that doesn't count as a spoiler. So it's just like
I mean, I've also like seen the musical, so
yes,
like I was like I've seen the musical, I've seen Wizard of Oz, I've seen that guy yelling at his friend over how she came down in a bubble dug. That's I still want to know more about that. If anybody can get me the inside scoop on that, that's what I want. But it's so funny. I feel like the community, there's so many like little niche groups that I talk to about other things that I really love. Like Bria and I talk about The Summer I Turned Pretty. And like now I'm probably going to be talking to people about Heated Rivalry, and people talk about Wicked, and Sarah, and there's a few other people. We really love this YouTube channel called Smosh where I was like, I don't even know how I found out that all of these people like it. It's just like things come up on your algorithm and you see other people liked it. And it's just a really safe place to be like to share things that you like with people, which is a really fun thing to do right now when there's so much negativity surrounding us, especially on social media and in the world where like you can turn any corner of social media or just the world and it feels really negative. It's nice to have a space where you can feel like you can express your really large obsession with Conrad Fisher, and people are going to be like, you know what? I don't get it, but I support you, Ashley. And like, I don't know if you can see him, but I've never
oh,
wanted to be a candy cane more. Yeah.
we can see him. Ashley, I don't know if you can see him. Says Ashley, putting him in every single game of the week. And it was so funny at the like you had like a table setting of like where are you gonna sit at the holiday, and you have Conrad in there. And someone messaged me. Someone sent me a DM. I forgot to tell you like, who's this guy next to this person? And I was like, oh, that's Conrad Fisher from The Summer I Turned Pretty.
I know I've like included them in so many, and my friend Michelle, God bless her, I like made one that was like all horror movies and like a plane, like someone like on a plane. I had like all these horror villains, and then I had the two brothers from The Summer I Turned Pretty, which would be someone else's horror movie because it would be so awkward to sit between two brothers who are trying to date the same woman. And this guy was like, I don't get why you included them. And my friend Michelle just like went off and she's like, well, horror is in the eye of the beholder. It was like, Michelle, it's okay. But she's also listened to the pod and she was like, I'm too scared to join the Patreon, but I love it. So if she's
That's so
somehow listening,
nice.
hi, Michelle. But I've honestly got multiple messages from Taylor Swift fans that have followed my account because of that they started watching Scream, and they've like messaged me be like, I watched the first Scream movie. And like the other day I found out that my nephew started watching them because he saw one of my TikToks and he actually quoted Scary Movie. And I was like, did you just quote Scary Movie in front of me? And this was at Thanksgiving dinner, Canadian Thanksgiving. And he goes, yeah. And I was like, how dare you? I mean, like he's old enough to know that like I was being sarcastic. And I was like, did you just say Deputy Doofy? I was like, "You gotta leave the table because it is only Deputy or Sheriff Dewey in this house." And then he was like, "This is my grandma's house." I was like, "You're right." But then he started telling me that he really likes the older ones better than the newer ones, and it was so cute, to see him, and, like, it felt so nice to have, like, a younger teenage boy be like, "Hey, you're cool enough for me to wanna watch the thing that you talked about." And I was like, "I don't think I've ever felt cooler in my entire life." So
Yeah. Well, Ashley, I just want to, just send some holiday cheer your way. I love doing the show and I love doing our segments. It brings me so much joy. And I was actually like, it's so funny. Sometimes we'll be like, we've gotten in recent recordings, we've gotten really goofy. There was like the recording 2 times ago, we both laughed for 30 seconds straight hysterically about like just Ashley's reaction. I said, "Are you ready?" And she just said, "Yep," in the craziest way. And just we laughed for like 30 seconds. I cut it out of the show, but it was just really funny. And then like today, I had like the funniest moment. I was like, we were talking about the song "Antihero" coming up. Speaking of, we were talking about Sam and her moral greatness earlier. I was like, Taylor Swift, I was kind of defending Taylor, saying, she's not really that bad. Like, these are just insecurities. She's being hard on herself. And I said, Taylor Swift says, I'm the problem. And Ryan Shower says, no, she's not. That's like, it's so unhinged. But anyways, I feel like I got that from Ash. Anyways.
yes, I mean, I hope I make everybody a little bit more unhinged because, what's life without being a little weird? I mean, my saying when I was little was somebody told me that I was really odd. And I was like, well, I'd rather be odd than even, which I thought was like the best comeback. Like I was like Regina George in that moment in my mind. And I was probably like 8 or 9 when I was like, you know what? That's gonna be my slogan for the rest of my life.
Well, Ash, thank you so much. Please tell everybody where they can find you in our game.
You can find me at Squirrel and Spud 9. You'll find all the ramblings of my Conrad Fisher, Taylor Swift, Scream, Ryan C. Showers, Love. And on Wednesday, we make a Scream game of the week. And I hope you come and play and guess or give your opinion. And because we have a really, really fun time making them. The last one I made, Ryan and I were like, this is the greatest one we've ever made. But yes.
I've literally sent the game. Like, I don't know if you can see it. My phone. So Ashley, she was like, whose Christmas box are each of these? And like, they were all Scream characters except for one. And this one is mine. It has red wine. And like, I told Jacob this. I was telling my friend Jacob about this. I sent it to him. I said, oh, whose is this? And he said, well, there's Home Court. There's Taylor Swift. There's Roman with a Heart. And oh, wine has to be you. I was like, wow. Nice to know that that's how you associate me with wine first. But yeah, so.
And that is also the red wine that is supposedly the one that Taylor Swift likes to drink. I'm crazy. So I had to Google. I had to be like, what red wine is Taylor Swift like?
Wow. I love it. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much. This has been the most, I wasn't expecting people to come today for some reason. I was like, it's the holidays. I may not get a good turnout. And I just have been so touched. And this has been soup for the soul after I've been recording that script. And I've been like isolated. I've been like Sidney in Scream 3, like hunkered down, like not talking to people, doing this script the past like 2 weeks. And I hope everybody likes it, by the way. It comes out Friday. By the time people listen to this episode.
They
will. Ashley's.
I've heard a teeny little bit just to make sure audio was good for Ryan and stuff. And the part that I heard, I was like, had tingles. I was so excited.
I'm glad. So, all right. Well, guys, thank you. I will talk to you guys all later. And I hope everyone has wonderful, wonderful, wonderful holidays. So happy Scream. And, the next time we go through Christmas and this time of year, we'll have had another Scream movie under our belt. So, all right. Thanks, everybody.
All copyrighted material used or referenced in this show belong to their rightful owners and made possible by the Fair Use Act.
And number 3, never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. Get another beer, you want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back!